Yo, what is up? We are back live. क्या हाल है सबके? We are back, guys. We are back with some watch party only. Watch. गूगल पे क्या करिए मेरा? क्या जादू हो रहा है? अभी तो मैंने चलाया नहीं. और क्या हाल चाल है यार सबके? बताओ. कुछ नहीं कटा. थोड़ी देर पहले किया था मैंने. और बताओ गाइस, क्या हाल चाल है? यार कल हम जल्दी सो गए थे. G2 वर्सेस फनेटिक देखा नहीं था मैंने, तो उसमें G2 हार गई थी 2-0 से भाई. सरप्राइजिंगली, लिटरली फकिंग सरप्राइजिंगली कि वो हार कैसे सकती है. तो आज हम देखेंगे वुल्व्स. इट्स चाइना अगेंस्ट फनेटिक. इट्स यूरोप. चाइना वर्सेस यूरोप का मजा आएगा यार. अच्छा मैच होगा. मतलब इसमें से जो हारेगा वो कल पेपर एक्स से खेलेगा, और जो जीतेगा वो पेपर एक्स से खेलेगा, और जो हारेगा वो घर. टाटा बाय बाय. चलो बस थोड़ी देर में मैच चालू होगा और वॉच वी आर गोना एंजॉय दिस मैच. बहुत अच्छा मैच होएगा ये. बहुत अच्छा, मजा आने वाली है. सही बजा रही है. चलो एटलीस्ट लगा तो दूं. मैच बता रहा है.
Showed up to this event and started to win. This would be I think the craziest left field team to go on a run like this, maybe since like Zeta Division, but they ended here in the lower finals.
Yeah.
Back in Reykjavik. Wolves could go even further.
You know what's really interesting about this, Kakuka, is that when you talk to the Fnatic guys,
Be
they're not
fire, mate,
putting
be
that
fire.
pressure on themselves here. And I think that's actually kind of scary, because you see that sea of achievements that they have managed to build up over the course of their careers, and yet they're here and they're like, hey, you know what? Just round after round, we go next, we just figure it out. It really is startling, and it's good to see.
I think they need to be realistic after the year that they had in 2024 and how they began this year. They also spoke this tournament about them just trying to, you know, test the waters again. How do we look in a global stage again against all of these opponents? But right now, these two teams have gone from the, okay, let's see how it goes, to a Wolves that has been extremely humble on anything from here is a win. We've already overachieved and overexceeded our expectations. Everything is just like a gift. But for Fnatic, they are surprisingly on the same line.
Yeah, for Fnatic too, it's so interesting that you have greatest of all time IGL, most winning player in Chronicle, and yet this team is just looking to try to push the needle even further along. That no one was talking about them coming into this tournament as the best team in the world, but they could be.
Yeah, they could very well come out of this one with everyone talking about them. But folks, we've got a BO5 showdown, and the winner is going to be moving on to tomorrow's grand finals, where Paper Rex is awaiting. This is the moment. It's now time. The Masters Toronto lower bracket final starts right now.
चलो भाई, चीते ही कैसे. मैंने ना सैंडविचेस बनाए, ठीक है, और अब आलू बच गए, मैं वेस्ट नहीं कर सकता. तो मैं अभी आलू खाऊंगा भाई बैठ के थोड़ी देर में.
The majority of Valorant is a mental game.
He's already taken out Alpha, Chronicle to Heaven player, late flank round, and now Boaster. Last one left to do it all. Nothing else to delay, it comes down to random spams, it comes down!
मैं तो बड़ा जीती कल मैंने मैच देखा.
The Boaster might have just done it
सुबह उठ के देखा
all!
मतलब.
You can't focus on
This
the
close.
losses or focus
It was
on
this
the
close.
mistakes.
Nice try, all good, all in team bro, in team.
Because if you don't move on, then you're going to end up losing the game.
It's a last-ditch effort. That's all it's looking to be. Beautiful from Fnatic.
Using my past experiences and dealing with whatever is at hand. That's what I'm here for now.
It's been one hell of a lower bracket run so far from a legendary core. It's been a while since I've been top 3.
There were questions how well Crashies would fit in, playing not with the Optic Core for the first time, but by all accounts, he has been so good on this roster.
I'm happy for Kayak. His first international tournament, he's already top 3. And especially do it with this team, my brothers. Obviously, it just feels amazing.
Maybe a mistake made by the Wolves. Lights are asked so much of. And he falls.
我觉得对于我们来说没关系，起码对于我更加没关系。
2-0 victory over Wolves. Got to come away from this series with their heads held high for your Wolves.
They're certainly not done yet.
因为经过这次的失败，我会更加有信心，知道怎么去赢。
Everything is good, guys. Everything is.
我希望狼队以一个面对逆境，就算最不被人家看好，我们也不会放弃，并且勇于面对强敌的态度的方式被记住吧。
It's one of the greatest underdog stories ever told on a global stage.
因为我们从垫底到了
भाई
今天，
Wolves ने
这
तो
一路
खेला है
走来
भाई
真的很不容易，所以不用管别人怎么去看
तीसरे
待，
नंबर पे थे
因为
चाइना पे
我们
भाई
狼
भी
队已经
टॉप
不
2
需要
पे
再
है
证
यार
明什
literally
么
playing
什么
finals
东
as
西
well
因为我们已经证明了给全国看，我们是一支不能被看小的队伍。
We're not looking for just a top
but
3.
I really want
It's
Paper
time
X
to
to
take
win
over.
其实我最想跟我的队友们说，辛苦你们，你们终于来到了这里。其实我们已经没有什么好遗憾的了，因为你们在我心目中已经是世界冠军，你们每一个。面对逆境，永不放弃。
If I heard the Wolves were hungry, come and get it.
Fnatic versus Wolves, guys.
It's a classic David versus Goliath story.
Right.
Does David have what it takes to sock out Goliath with a right hook? Or will Goliath smash him like a bug here today? The question on everyone's minds is who rises to the top and who will punch their ticket to the grand final.
Wolves,
Fnatic,
they
they were the
Fnatic जीत
greatest
चुके हैं यार
team
2 trophies.
in Valorant in 2023. They didn't have the performance they
Tough
wanted
रहेगा.
last year, missed out on Bangkok, but now here, a chance to make another final and a BO5 ahead of them, Bea. This is their comfortable territory.
Absolutely. As we take a look at the Omen map select, we see no surprises in the VP.
भाई split, Icebox, Lotus, Ascent. अरे यार Heaven नहीं है यार.
Wolves banning the Haven, and Fnatic, just like in EMEA, just in every time they have the chance, pick Split as their first map.
I love the fact that we're getting to see Split though, because I think that's been one of the best maps for Wolves as well. I think they've got great ideas on their attack and their defense side. So we're going to begin with a banger to open.
Where are going to be the success opportunities here for Wolves to try and see if they can get themselves further along this series, Sideshow?
It's got to be Spring. I mean, when Spring is on the attack side, he sets up for these Viper lurks through B main, and Fnatic have got to have game plans to shut that down. When they're on the defense side as well, I don't think you can let Fnatic get into a post plan because they play those situations perfectly. So I want to see Wolves on the first half fighting up at the choke points.
Yeah, they're really good when they're doing that. On their defensive side as well, Wolves likes to flood retake a lot more than Fnatic does. They're almost always throwing down anchor smokes, trying to get into these sites and not let Fnatic play those post plans. But for Fnatic, super retake heavy team, super structured. When you let them play those set retakes, they're very strong in those positions.
I love, Joshua, you were mentioning how good of a record Wolves have had in this map, because this was one of the maps where they managed to come back against Gen G, and it was from that defense. After a defeating 9-3 half for the side of Gen G, of course, they had to come back, and they did it in 10-2 fashion. This is something that they have to replicate today, and with them starting on the defense, they have to
भाई
start
skin
with
selection
good footing.
हो
They
रहा है.
have to force Fnatic into making those mistakes and punishing them.
भाई
We've been talking a
We
lot
are
about redemption in
rooting
this
for
tournament, and I
Wolves,
think
okay?
it doesn't quite fit today.
वैसे तो
What you've got is
ठीक
one
ही है
team
दो
making
टीमें,
a grand
but
entrance
Paper X
onto the
for the
global
win
stage, and
for
another
the
team making a
whole
resurgence.
tournament.
But whoever
और
wins
अभी
is going to become the
Wolves.
antagonist to the Paper Rex redemption story. And so what you're witnessing here is maybe the birth of a villain. Whoever it is, they're going to be going into the grand finals with, I think, a lot of the crowd maybe even rooting against them. And today it feels like people are behind Wolves when you're just looking at what the people in the crowd are rooting for.
It's an interesting flip here for a tournament here in North America. G2, they go home yesterday in top 4, not where they would have wanted to exit. And now Crashies, the guy who was always one of the greatest players coming from North America, was so successful on Optic before the partnership era, didn't even have any opportunity for an NA team to sign him into Tier 1, had to fly all the way to Europe, take this opportunity with Fnatic. So if there's someone here for redemption, I think it is Crashies.
Fnatic welcomed him with open arms, and he reciprocated in kind. Now let's see what's going on with this Agent Select, if we get any surprises here, but I don't think so, Kukuka. When you're this close to the finish line, you gotta play, you gotta do the thing that brought you to the dance.
Absolutely, and this is where we're going to see the preparation for both of the teams. We're speaking about show-ins. That is also a lot of vaults, a lot of tells, a lot of different defaults that you can adapt to. It doesn't matter where you are on the map, you have to learn your opponents.
I mean, take a look in this first half at Kayak's control in B main and Alpha Air trying to find fights on A ramp. Wolves are going to need a game plan to shut that down. Whether it's somebody fighting Alpha, and God help you if you try, or if it's a plan to try to re-clear and put bodies there and surprise them. But I think the two duelists are going to be on opposite sides of the map, and Wolves have an opportunity to try to either contest them or give them space.
Yeah, Alpha's definitely going to be my player to watch here, maybe because he has been unbelievable. But on the other side to that, you do got to consider what can Spring bring to the table, what can Juicy bring to the table. A lot of weapons on both sides of the field.
I want to see more from Juicy. He's had a couple good matches this tournament thus far, but he hasn't been a standout in the same way that a guy like Spring has been showing up. That guy less than a year ago was kind of missing out on his opportunity to play Tier 1, being too young to compete after winning Ascension. Now here in what has to be the biggest game of his career, it's a rise to the occasion against some of the best duelist players that Fnatic could possibly bring.
And Fnatic having two duelists in this map, I think that we also need to look at YU. He had an amazing performance yesterday. All things considered, he did show up. With two duelists, those traps are going to be extremely important.
All right, baby, Toronto, let's make some noise as we get ready for the final and send it over to two of the greatest of all time. Here's Pansy and Hypoc on the mic.
चलो भाई, बड़ा मैच है, बड़ा मैच है, बड़ा मैच है.
This is going to be a belting game, but we're in the big leagues now, right? This is looking at finals, trying to get into those grand finals, best of 5. This is a new
ये मैंने कुछ मंगाया था. I want to try this. क्या ये डोबरा पोपी पॉप गोली? नींबू मसाला है, नींबू मसाला.
Continued to stride from success to success. Obviously now coming up against another Goliath as GB put it in the form of Fnatic.
सैंडविचेस मैंने खाए थे. 2-3 सैंडविच बने बस. थोड़े से आलू रह गए. तो वही साथ में खाऊंगा.
Mitigate this comp from Fnatic early on in the rounds. Try and carry that home. Obviously the Gen G score
भाई स्प्लिट मैप में मजा आएगी भाई.
Can't ignore it. But for
क्या है?
Fnatic, they've been here before.
भाई ये पहली बार मैंने कुछ मंगाया इसके अंदर पता नहीं कुछ तो पीला पीला सा है.
Wolves, new territory, and a new danger in the form of Kayak.
अरे नाइस यार का है.
Sliding into the site like
मैं किसकी टीम में हूँ मेरे को समझ नहीं आता कभी-कभी. मैं अच्छा गेम देख के पिघल जाता हूँ.
Spring expects actually just
oh,
maybe now going to come back and recheck, but
oh, that was a good shot.
Gets himself a little upgrade as well.
Oh God, and Kayak.
भाई ये तो एक तरफा ले जाएगी बे.
If he's be firing like that, Mike, the Wolves are going to have to be.
Oh, भाई full soda vibe है.
As said, when we talk about it in the
nice.
kind of alluding to it as well. It's this comfort in
oh भाई कच्चा सोडा vibe है पूरी. Nice.
So often, they know that feeling. And yet, look, they've had a moment out of the sun, right? They've not had the results they needed. Roster changes coming in. Players coming
भाई बहुत तगड़ी चीज है.
all the stronger for it now.
Absolutely, we're really talking about that almost dynasty core of Fnatic that's still here. The new members to complement that. Themselves on the board here.
Good one. अच्छा है ये मतलब मुझे अच्छा लगा.
Repeat here, going to really test this A-site hold once more. There's 2 pistols to bring in here for Boaster and Alpha, but well invested elsewhere. It's almost like carbon copy here of the same execute. Maybe something in the prep they've seen to potentially exploit. Straight away for the first buy round, we may be looking for an adjustment.
Headshot दे दिया Crashes को.
And again, this is where we question depth when it comes to Wolves as well. When someone's really worked you out, how are you going to be able to adapt to that? How do you look at that?
I mean, it's rare to win a veto versus a team like Fnatic, to be honest. And then
tough.
मेरे को Wolves से कोई भरोसा नहीं.
Prep a short turnaround here in Toronto.
ये ले हक दिया भाई. एक ही एंगल देखते रहे सब.
Crashes to find everything. Just why you left now.
Why you? It feels like a cold start for Wolves here. Fnatic, they're at the throats, Mike. They're not
coming
taking,
for blood.
They are.
कल जीतू ने Fnatic ही जीता है पता. वो Fnatic ने split ही जीता है.
In the interview as well, saying, look, G2 get out of our way. We want those finals. You know, we know how to handle that. This is just another opponent on their.
There is a reason उन्हें मैच choose किया भाई.
So for them, there isn't going to be a respect given. There isn't going to be a slowdown. They're out for blood.
Back to one of the ancient mantras for Fnatic, which is get that goat to Sunday. Get Chronicle to the grand finals again.
Isolate and exterminate.
And it's been cold for Wolves at the beginning. Only 2 managing to draw blood yet. Need to see them warm into this, right? Let's see what they can bring once they start feeling out the game. Only a pistol, but this one's big, so it is the bonus now. And Lysol was unaware that someone slipped ahead.
Tested here potentially. Alpha progresses any further. See on the cycle of the smokes, maybe a reposition here from Fnatic. Another player slipping forward. Cover going out.
This is hilarious, Mike.
But you can see already the adjustment from the first 2 rounds. 3 members of Wolves dedicated towards A in the early round. Now, see Fat BB on the rotate. I saw actually caught with a stun, but
good timing on the paranoia though, at least.
भाई कायक को देखो भाई. अच्छा सही वो कर रहा था. अरे nice यार.
And the site gets taken, really nice scaling up.
Easy हो गया यार.
The clone to test towards middle at the same time, splitting that attention. Now 3 players from Wolves have to try and get back in this. Utility-wise, you're looking
Best of 5 है मेरे को नहीं लगता.
able to carve a way into this, maybe spring forward, but Crashes wants to get involved. Fnatic not even really giving them much of the site here. Happy to play a little bit of a challenge, but falling away towards main. Kayak on the cross, gonna get punished. YU does well. 3 more to find now in an even affair, but it is still a bonus. Juicy on the swing, and now we sit into the post.
Some main pair.
Have here to buy the time. Shot from Grom. Yeah, not looking phased just yet. Still that util with Boaster. So they're able to run through, but now around the world coming in. Oh!
अबे whip कर गया पूरा Crashes पे ये.
He'll do it all.
छी भाई.
The bonus conversion on top. Fnatic off to a flying start. Wolves able to find a couple of responses here. For Lysol to get caught by that reveal. Just gets spammed out immediately by Kayak. The site will follow. Beautiful work. I mean, the time
ये पूरा मैं whip कर गया भाई.
Second glance up towards Mail. That's when Crashy springs.
Sad हो गया भाई ये.
Favorable engagement onto the defuse.
And then the question keeps getting asked, right? When's that first round to break back in for Wolves? Feeling a little shut out here. It is now a marathon, though, right? We are in best of 5, so we hold it to a little bit of a different start. The cold beginnings are cold. Lovely reveal again. I mean, look, Crashes did well to close out that final round last year, a moment ago, but his reveals have been solid. Doing what he needs.
Whoa!
Showing Crashes to his seat.
भाई इसमें हाँ जूसी ने रेड दिया.
Kayak crawling post. Why you still close by? Thought there was a chance there for him, but Fnatic.
अब ना होगा.
See them having a bit too much fun, decided against it. And look at the final 2 players. Juicy still super far away, so it's on Lysol really. And patience being displayed from Fnatic. No real need for a hurry. Still 50 seconds.
Easy win है भाई Fnatic के लिए. ये मैप तो बहुत easy होगा.
Slow down now.
मगर ये मैप इतना वो है ना.
Cases further aggression.
Frustrate करने वाले सामने वाले को.
I saw. Can get a little funky with the smokes, but no doubt on an anti-eco anybody's going to be exploring into this guy. Close and personal, still wins out. It's just Juicy now. We'll find an upgrade. Did have a Bucky before this. Still a decent util as well.
Yeah, that paint shell could be big actually. Kayak's HP is going to be a small factor. Seems to be forced away to the other side of Pillar, but the second time with the plant there, Boaster still preparing the boys. You can see Juicy then looking for a new option, right? But does it feel good to go against Kron? I don't know.
Main clear नहीं करेगा ये.
It's better and better the deeper into the tournament you go. And it's calm, collected, disciplined. Fnatic not really breaking a sweat yet.
Yet even that scenario with the bonus being converted is, I mean, there's no consolations to find. Maybe a few deaths on an Alpha on the side of Fnatic. Will be an early timeout here from Wolves.
Yeah.
Just to reconsider their approach potentially.
Sad हो गया भाई सीपू के साथ तो.
It does feel like Fnatic came in with.
It's actually insane. We're too calm.
Yeah, and that kind of, if you didn't hear it, they're saying how calm they were about this. They haven't felt any resistance. Just to give you an update on the board, 9-1 for Kayak, 5-1 for Crashies, 4-1 for Kron. We haven't even needed Alpha, right? Which is a wild statement to say. He's been doing perfectly fine. They've been doing their job. Again, it's just not been any fight back. It's an early timeout. A cold start can just really bring the mood down. Got to get back in this one. Got to find some stability. Sufit BB's been doing the best he can, right? You're looking at probably the only one so far to really find a bit of resilience. But I need to see them, maybe start taking some space here, start fighting back here. Maybe challenge some of that A main control. Easier said than done. As said, Fnatic very composed in these sort of rounds, in these sort of games, in these sort of maps. So, the Wolves, do you take the bait?
Considering now, potentially one of the answers, maybe getting a little proactive, but we know Wolves are
B पे spike रखी इनने, ठीक है?
into that slower pace and
But 3 जन A पे
particularly in the Paper X
distract करेंगे.
waiting for Paper X to overstep the mark,
यहाँ पे 3
punishing those oversteps. Fnatic not really
split अच्छा नहीं
sort of
है.
team. They read into it so well.
Yeah, the control we've been seeing from Fnatic has been rather exceptional. And I know it's not necessarily the flashiest of Valorant, if I'm honest. I think we can see it. It's patient, it's calm, it's slow and methodical. It gets the job done. It's worked wonders to get to this point. And we know they can kick it up a gear. Hell, I think all of us have seen what Alpha can do when the timing's right. Kayak, right? They have it there. But for now, they want to play to the win cons, right? They want to play that percentage Valorant, and they're doing it. Kayak, early investment of the ult here, trailblazing away straight up through heaven. Has a glance, should get a little bit of info. Sees nothing on sight, time to commit.
It's the right decision from Wolves as well. Really test the 5v5 in the retake. And both trips still in play here, but nobody in a position to capitalise off that. Fnatic will actually get a clean plant off this, other than the snakebite landing.
Easy plant हो गया भाई तो. Ult कर रहा है भाई.
This time obviously very
पेट का ult आ रहा है.
So it probably comes down to
1, 2, 3 गए.
Not going to come through. That's a big connection. Kron is going to show his hand as well.
भाई लर्क मारेंगे उनको पता भी नहीं चलेगा.
Kayak can be on that close corner. Nice shot.
Oh भाई Kayak.
CT gets denied. As Lysol now builds back in on the side. Both of
Oh बच गया भाई.
But he tries to readjust. Crashies holding well towards Pillar. Good timing from Kron.
भाई लर्क आ गया ना उसका.
That snakebite should prove a problem. See that BD has to go big. And it's Kron on the other side. The original Iceman himself. He ain't gonna lose that. So calm as ever. Chronicle, the ultimate champion in these scenarios.
The streak continues. Wolves able to draw blood here in the retake, but now backline, the last line of defense for Fnatic delivering. Even here with Kayak finding the adjustment. Fantastic work to take first contact here.
My ult is ready.
Well, I think Wolves kind of read into this, maybe a little bit of prep in terms of conceding the site here. See now, getting to the territory of discussing the funds really to justify some of these early set pieces, especially with the scoreline. It's full recovery.
Again, this discipline that's been instilled into Wolves, or this kind of, I guess, conditioning over towards A, right? Like maybe this is not a bad idea in this sort of round to make a bit of a hazard of a guess, right? Push out, see what it looks like if we do try and play ahead of these walls. How is this going to look like if we do it in a rifle round? But now though, Fnatic, it's just correct steps. It's a flawless beginning. I mean, yes, Sufat BB has been doing okay, right? Couple of kills here and there, but nothing that's threatened a round outcome, really. And once
भाई ये तो full backstab मार रहे पूरी team backstab और वो अभी तक घुसी नहीं है.
I'm not sure.
वो sound आ जाएगा उनको.
Confirmation on YU, but now we'll find it onto Spring at least.
I could just see him calling that out. You saw it on the cam. Oh, he's just
See,
walking on forward. Kron makes this look just too simple so far. And Alpha got teed up with the information. Fed by Kron. Nice shot from Juicy. Need a couple more of those though. As now you look at the reposition, it feels like we've switched sides.
किसी को तो वोटना पड़ेगा
Chance
भाई.
really of exits to be found here. The only consolation being in the rifle. I mean, Juicy went away from the showstopper. Most hope on the buy round in the next that he'd look for a kill here.
They need to step up, bro. Someone has to step up.
Rifle. Spam comes through. Kayak not going to be caught on the escape nearly. It'll be a 6th now for Fnatic. And ultimate starting to come online. See you, Fat BB. I mean, Springs being the key one really to slow down. I mean, right place, right time scenario, but he can stop Fnatic setting up.
ये क्या था भाई? मतलब तुम वापस से पिक कैसे कर सकते हो? ये अच्छा.
Too much of an exploration towards mid. It's been Chronicle really as the complementary piece.
सीपू के पास Fade
so maybe an opportunity.
Cypher ult है, एक में Raze ult है. और सामने Chronicles का ult है.
Again, they always love showing a lurk and then putting an extra 2 players
ये round
behind
बहुत
the next
easy
few
है.
rounds.
Yeah, it's just like, are you sure
Easy
you want to
round.
test that? Are you certain? It looked like there was a little set piece in mind there, or at least maybe a set beginning. As Wolves looking to brawl out a bit, right? Take control towards B main and release posture up on it. Now, it's hard to do that though when you're sat at 0 to 6, right? To feel confident, to feel bold to make these plays.
एक बंदे को step up करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो 13-0 हो गए. To be very honest.
2-2-1 almost, leaving again. Quan out on the lurk on A, but 2 players testing towards middle.
Stop online now for Alpha. Probably the main objective in the early round. Now we see 3 for Wolves grouped up here and doing exactly what I was talking about. Maybe an exploration towards mid here and a chance to get behind Fnatic.
Half-hearted though to an extent. I'd have loved to see a bit more behind that, but surely now, with that catching on minimum 3, they continue. Juicy's Juicy could be on for an absolute belter. Brilliant on one, takes away
पहला फर्स्ट ब्लड आया भाई, बहुत देर बाद आया. पूरी टीम पीछे हो जाएगी अब. उनको लगेगा कोई पुश कर रहा है.
I think Fnatic might still just decide to carry on through. Showstopper sent.
30 seconds left.
That's a response comes through here.
It's only Alpha.
Does he go for it?
It's only Alpha on the side. The rest still biting their tongue. Towards middle. Kayak creeping closer. Gonna catch one, and now they're locked in there with Fnatic.
भाई ये लोग literally aim duels हार रहे हैं.
Just elevating.
Aim diff दे रही है भाई टीम पूरी इनकी. पूरा aim diff.
So like saw, you've got a paranoia and 3 players.
हार जाएगी ऐसे तो.
2 kills so far. To more than double to get a shot at this. Fnatic gonna, well, at least be put down to 2 here. Kayak gone and the emergency alarm ringing.
Respect shown here to Lysor. The pick goes up, potentially to seal the deal on round 7.
I like that. Come on, Lysor. You've got to find 2 more. Decides to go for the paranoia on the right side. He hazarded a guess, but for Alpha it was all too easy. And again, even though there was a moment of danger there, Fnatic still had layers to call in, right?
So many things considered. Even here, he said there was a gap, there was no backline really for Fnatic. I think they were ready to commit ahead of. You see Fat BB sending the Nightfall through. Yes, Poster falls, but
man advantage होने के बाद ये लोग
always in place. Maybe an extra body for Wolves there. He said you really do want to see them try and isolate a player. We can see from the minimap it's possible, but come back to that same discussion. The ultimates, the finances, everything plays a part here. Now Fnatic looking to slow the tempo.
Kaya hadn't slipped through like this until now, so Juicy completely unawares. Look at this tailor-made poison. Juicy should be dead to rights. It was gorgeous, Mike.
What do you do? You're Juicy there, you're just overwhelmed. Smothered in utility.
The C's lovely, every part of it. Just set up to win out. And they did this at about that minute mark, so they still have plenty of time to walk away, decide on a new look, because again, for Wolves, they've bitten on this, right? They pulled that rotate over towards A.
Toxin screen down.
Still got YU set up towards B, but it hasn't really paid off. They've not been in a position to punish these strokes. The rotations come through. They're really volunteering.
Wolves की छुट्टी हो गई guys, Wolves की छुट्टी हो गई.
Lots lots of space for Fnatic. The Wolves. Dangerous, just try and walk back in. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh, bhai.
Again, man.
Chronicles na maan rahe.
From that actively, but position held.
Yeah, time's going to run out regardless, but
they're still not going to clear it comfortably. Death from above on the first. Great
Arey wah bhai.
I saw though. Takes away Kayak, denying the trade.
Trade खेल लिया इन्होंने.
Now the pick comes in. Similar scenes to before, but this time it's Wolves. Alpha flies forward, still giving them numbers advantage. A Spring feeling rough around the edges, but that's beautiful. Needs 4. Arcelot of the Boaster.
Boaster stepped. He heard him.
Been given away. The shot in the dark here. The reload. We've been here before. Diffuse. Does Boaster panic? The crowd roaring for it, and Boaster tested again. Spring though. Down to the wire, and Boaster does it. The scoreboard stays flawless.
Made the timing to perfection.
Crazy.
A chance potentially for Spring to close out. And between
ये गलत किल हो गया ना.
and
Shorty
Crash is
से.
just running the clock down enough
Come on.
to put Boaster in a position to secure the round. We'll draw another timeout second in the first half.
Boaster भाई. एक कल एक क्लच आ गया इसने पता है.
Out of control for them.
वो literally end duels आ रहे हैं पता है.
Remnants really the Gen G score.
भाई वो बहुत अच्छा खेल रही है.
Asking for a comeback, but talk about the resilience of Wolves. They've shown it. They've shown they can play from behind.
I love you too. Yeah, this is a scary predicament for Wolves, right? Because it does feel like
भाई 13-0 will hurt them.
games, you're just on that momentum, feeling fantastic. Your players are hitting shots. As I said, Cinderella run.
We're in a very different situation now, though, where it's like best of 5, last chance to get to the grand finals. This is a very, very different climate for Wolves to try and thrive in.
And more experienced teams falter in these scenarios. Hell, you look at Heretics, sorry to bring them back from the dead, but God, you put them in a best of 5. They absolutely shy away from it. It is a different level at this point. So it is hard. And then you look at arguably probably one of the hardest opponents to come up against, who have the most storied history. It's Fnatic. You've got literally some of the players who truly thrive in these, like Chronicle, on the other side. So for Wolves, it is never going to be easy, but you don't want to see them go down like this.
No. Definitely not. It's a long series today, potentially.
Oh yeah.
Again, slower
Oh
approach
भाई.
towards A-Ram. Juicy.
भाई ये पता है थोड़ा सा ना डिफेंस के लिए अच्छा है.
Again, with this default, not expecting any sort of commitment too early on. Drawn an extra man already though, 4 bodies for Wolves. Over on the A side of the map.
Yeah, but now they're doubting it as well, right? Is that it's so hard to have faith in what you're seeing.
ओ भाई कितना ऊपर लगाया उसने कैम देखा.
It's beautiful. Look what it's done. Yeah. You're watching a master at work, Mike.
And this is kind of that panic sort of play style where
Yeah.
they're kind of biting onto everything they see. Kayak will fall, but
hey,
Fnatic's still waiting to potentially catch somebody.
The ult's going to give it away, but
but they're not here.
पर उनको पता नहीं है ना पूरी टीम उनकी वही है.
Now the red carpet is rolled out, but they still need to cross with the spike. That is still an issue. I said they hesitated almost, maybe imagining there's more here. So now Wolves get the play back in. It's like
Comeback हो रहा है क्या?
desperately trying to claw on though.
Oh,
It's
भाई.
Alpha and Boaster, hold on, pause. Spike not down, 20 seconds.
One off showstopper as well for Alpha.
I have the spike.
That could be pivotal in the post here.
There it is. Sharp as hell for 10 seconds. He goes down. A lifeline. Oh!
भाई टाइम पास कर ले.
Can you charge it down? Oh my.
Oh, he's faked it.
Yeah, Life Source played it like a champion. Beautifully done in the end.
ओ भाई escape कर गया वो.
And he passed the test.
Oh my god, bro.
Almost causing so many issues.
If there was a second extra for that, showstopper coming in.
Forces them out, but Boaster finds the first. Just can't keep a hold of the spray. Again, the TP.
ये यहाँ पे whip कर गया ना वो. यहाँ पे वो whip कर गया इसलिए.
bouncing back and
हाँ बैठ जा Alpha बैठ जा
Told to sit down by Alpha. You don't want to get that man fired up either, right? Like, oof. Back to business, it looks like, keeping it simple. All in towards that A site, maybe excluding one. Both are still disconnected, but still viable. Could be tested again, though, by Spring, and here we go. Alpha wants space, Mike. And this time, ooh, I thought he was almost out of there, but Wolves holding on. Lysor coming alive for the side. Finally, they're fighting back. Has caught the last man standing in a 1v4.
Poster disconnect हो गया.
Spike deep in Wolves territory. You'd need a mistake from Wolves to open that door of chance for Kron.
अरे क्या हुआ Chronicles बार-बार लड़क करके उनको मार गया था ना
Potentially a flank coming through. And no confirmation, I guess, on everybody left standing on Wolves, but firm control of the spike. Chronicle, no way back into this round.
अरे बेइज्जती होने से तो बच गए उनकी 2 राउंड तो निकाल दिए.
Even with that scoreline, look at the funds behind this for Fnatic. This could be a real turning point here for Wolves.
Spot on. And a little belief goes a long way. For Wolves to try and make Fnatic feel human could be part of the task here.
Yeah.
To be able to remind yourselves, look, we took down Gen G.
Well,
you know, we've done great things.
To come back to that, it almost felt like the flip of the switch, really. When Wolves got back into that game. Well, that map, I should say. The abysmal first half. I mean, this one's not over just
चलो
yet.
भाई 2 राउंड तो निकाल लिए लोगों.
Chance to almost improve on that first half performance, but we'll see a couple of follow-ups here. The crowd
willing it.
Yeah, happy to see a
The
second.
crowd is liking it कि थोड़ा सा तो कुछ
Explosive fashion
पॉजिटिविटी
as
दिख रही है गेम में है.
Again, the reveal
ये तो भाई
just not catching.
किस्मत थी.
See here, Alpha's even ready for that reveal to ping something on site.
Yep.
ये डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ.
Fortunate turn of events, but Wolves pounce on the opportunity.
Again, these sort of things, these sort of moments, a lot of those fans really got behind CFAB
Okay,
as
right,
well.
Fnatic ने
Giving
time
that
out
speech,
लिया.
getting them back on that same page. But to be able to do damage to Fnatic is one thing, to take them out of a half is another. But they have timeouts to play with. First one they're going to be calling here, but also an opportunity for the Wolves coach to have a chat as well. So a bit of a double-edged sword at times, but Fnatic wanting that check-in.
Sure, and maybe, again, we don't know if the comms, a little bit of complacency following up what could be considered a fumble.
Yeah.
In that round 9 loss. Still in a fantastic position regardless. Crashies with his ultimate. Kayak have his as well. Obviously the purchase, well, a purchase will be there.
प्लान तगड़ा बन गया भाई उनका.
Push all in here.
चाटे मारने का प्लान बन गया उनका.
There's not going to be an awful lot behind this, but a purchase regardless. Side of Wolves, nothing available, but Juicy. See Fat BB being the closest. A chance to potentially see them in round 12. Let's see if there's any real adjustment here from Fnatic, and maybe what we've talked about, some mid-exploration here from Wolves.
कायक ब्रो मैंने बोला चाटे मारने का प्लान बन चुका है. देख हल्का सा और ये बच गया भाई.
And look, whoa, look at the tempo from this. Boaster's off. He's in vents.
He's got the spike, by the way.
Yes. Kayak, can you? Oh, it's fine apparently. Boaster gets away with daylight robbery.
बच गया.
What has just happened?
भाई खत्म.
I want to know what happened in that timeout. That was the conversation that suddenly makes Fnatic
fuck कर दिया भाई. They are just too good. Too good. They are just. भाई मैं बोल रहा हूँ एंड हो रहा है पूरा. खेल ही नहीं पा रहे वो लोग.
Those situations where Fnatic just
वो
seem
1v1 हार रहे हैं
have
literally
the
1v1.
enemy playbook to read throughout their timeout. Anticipating this mid-aggression perfectly. Wolves actually double down.
ये देखो भाई. Aim.
I mean, not
ये
much
तो
to do in that situation.
ये aim.
If you spring. That's the sort of thing we've asked
ये
for.
aim. मतलब 5 में से 3 क्वेश्चन की aim के कारण नहीं हो रहे. क्या फायदा?
Our hopes and prayers to a 9-3 half once more for Wolves here on split.
क्या ये 9-3 करके comeback मार सकते हैं? कैन में इतनी हिम्मत है? Wolves की.
There's a thought of it there with Juicy. Fnatic biding their time. No hurry on this one. Maybe expecting a bit of that aggression. And Alpha comes out on top of that damage exchange. So is there a reaction through middle? Juicy wanting to be involved, chomping at the bit here. Spring drawing all eyes towards him. Pressure starting to mount. Right, closing in, and he has been a godsend for this squad. One of the higher performers throughout that regular season, and now into this, into Toronto. He has been wondrous to witness. About the 50 seconds, no real player drop chip. A mid-walk, that is audacious.
Oh, my.
Juicy strikes, Poster wants one back, but he doesn't get it. But then Alpha, he bails him out, and then they look a little lost almost in the swing, but it's fine. 3v3.
Chronicles को भाई तुम hold करके
Where
खेलो.
they're heading. Nice shot as well, look at the damage.
पता था. लालच.
How are you allowed to do this?
Slip through, Spring.
Oh,
okay, it's so diligent.
There's nowhere. There's no area to play in, no pocket to play out of. Sewn up, totally Chronicle in full control until then. Spring, give me a miracle. Show me what you can do. It's lovely, but does he expect it? Absolutely not. There's
Outplayed. Yeah, outplayed.
Fnatic right now at 10-2.
Putting on an absolute clinic, another round that just shows the layers of contingency in Fnatic's game plan. And that gets said it, even versus Gen G. A tall order to come back to, and an even worse scoreline, to be honest.
Yeah, they are big game players they're up against though, right? To face Fnatic in these sort of situations is incredibly hard. It's uphill by all accounts, and very few people understand what it's like to face a team like this.
Chronicles
However,
पूरा लड़
there
game
are a
करते.
couple of people in the building who know what it's like, and one of them is waiting in the wings with Yinzu. We're going to head over there right now.
Do I have a treat for you guys?
Tens bye.
They're in the building indeed. Welcome. First of all, Tens, we have an event in Canada. How exciting is that?
It's honestly amazing being able to attend an event that's in my home country. The crowd here has been fantastic, so just the vibes are immaculate.
I'm feeling the vibes, and I'm glad you mentioned the vibes because, Kaide, I saw a little video of you dapping up Sufat BV, living all of our dreams out here. What was that like meeting him?
Oh no, he's absolutely incredible. He has really good vibes. I feel like I'm low-key the curse right now though, because it's 10-2 at the moment, but I hope they can bring it back.
It's a best of 5. As you know, Tens, anything can happen in a best of 5. You've been here before. You've also had to watch some stressful games. I saw you in a Paper Rex jersey yesterday. Now, this question came specifically from our good friend, Van Silly. What is more stressful, watching Sen, watching Paper Rex, or watching Kaide's Game Changers games?
Oh my god. I'll just say all of them are stressful. They might be more stressful than playing, honestly. I think watching is really stressful.
Anything you want to add there, Kaide?
For me, personally, it was watching Sen. I don't really get nervous when I play, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're the go for that reason. And lastly, there's a lot of crazy things happening on stage, players standing up, so on and so forth. I want to hear from you. Who is winning
Teasing
the
और banting बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है इस पर.
I think right now Boaster is because they're up 10-2, but I know Sufat's going to bring it back.
I also agree.
All right, let's see if they're right and send to the second half.
भाई comeback बहुत मुश्किल है भाई. Fnatic बहुत अच्छी है भाई. भाई G2 अच्छी थी. तुम्हें पता है Fnatic से.
And here, checking it on that Coinbase
But अभी कुछ कह नहीं सकते.
it is going to be a one-sided affair. You can kind of read it as you see it. No
कल मजा आएगा भाई.
in that regard.
Painting the picture of some rough purchases to string together for Wolves, and no surprises really. I think we come back to a similar discussion we've had previously. This time around, it's YU that's kind of trailing behind a little bit. The second half, we're looking towards Juicy. He had a fantastic resurgence versus Gen G.
Yes.
Really, the pinnacle of that comeback. Spring showing some resilience already here in the first half, putting up some numbers. Even at a 10-2 deficit. Goes without saying here, need to get this first round on the board.
It is not even just a want, it is a need, a necessity if Wolves want a shot in this. Let's see how it looks at the very beginning. Already Fnatic looking to take control over towards Rem. And in exchange, Wolves eyeing up middle. So a slow and steady walk. taking their time, but on the other side is Kron. Not going to outstay his welcome. Pressure now felt a little towards B main, so they've got a bit of a read here, encouraging Fnatic to get moving.
I think as well, this might be the response to the slow default from Wolves. Immediately on the back of contact there, Fnatic are on the move.
They've got sight, but not complete control. Fnatic still have a foot in the door. Breaking it down, and now both from Wolves. This is now Alpha and Crashy still with a lot of kit to play with and a bit of chip damage. Alpha. If there's anyone to be nasty, it would be him. Oh my god, don't you dare.
Got the reset.
Don't you dare. Another paint shell and another problem. A high low he can't get out of.
Oh bhai, Alpha almost bro.
As Wolves need.
Surely asking for a few more on the back of that, but confident start here to the pistol. No hesitation on the way in. Happy to stand their ground, take these gunfights. Able to find one, make it a little easier for Crashies and Alpha to potentially clean up. First hit in the box for Wolves.
And they can't stop, Mike. They cannot
need to follow through here.
They've somehow got to keep Fnatic under their thumb the whole way through. Now we know they can do this sort of thing. We've seen it, right? We've seen what they can do with a bit of momentum, a bit of belief. But it is going to be round by round, and it's a long road back. You can't have a kayak round against you. You can't have Alpha going off or Kron getting you 3 out of nowhere. None of that can be allowed to happen. So can they cross the T's, dot the I's? Can they truly stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the giants of Valorant?
And we know Fnatic have already shown that they can channel this sort of slow pacing. We saw it in the Sentinels game. This is something they're very, very well versed in. Already here, actually, look at the mini-map. Alpha's on the move. Crashy's actually pulled ahead of the site here. His body's here for Fnatic. So Bucky in the hands of Alpha, but he's on the flank. It's going to be difficult to get something going here, but I'm going to a Ghost.
Yeah, the Ghost goes in hand. It's the 4 other weapons that are the big factor, right? They can't really afford to lose it. Good paranoia sets them up to succeed. Kron does draw blood.
30 seconds.
And he's
time here.
Not really gets overwhelmed so fast. Paint shot from Alpha, still trying no. So 3 survive. Yes, they lose 1 weapon, Mike, but that's fine.
And
scheme of things.
चलो एटलीस्ट आया तो सही कुछ पॉजिटिव देखे भाई 4 राउंड निकाल चुके हैं लोग.
Juicy's going to struggle potentially, but you can see Fnatic are desperate to get into sight, tuck themselves in, anticipating the regroup outside A. It's rough here as well for Alpha, actually. A lick of
Oh, Cypher bhai!
Steps ahead of the paint shell and finds the kill. But now the rifles are here for Fnatic. Juicy actually is a stinger here into round 3.
First signs of life toward middle. Slow presence from Spring over towards B main. That'll be Kayak on the other side. Boaster's eyes drawn away. Focus towards what they can really see and feel. The C's and the paint shell don't catch as Kron slips away deeper.
ये वेट नहीं करेंगे पता है बस. Oh my god.
The timing. Catches Boaster,
पर एक किल तो आई गया एटलीस्ट. भाई अल्फा को निकालना है तुमको.
Desperately wanted to get outside of this.
भाई कोई नहीं देख रहा उसको.
They're actually going to push into him.
Oh भाई इसने निकाल दिया.
Holding on now. Kayak is on the side. Do they then cancel on this? It looks like they want to try and spin through CT. Feeling bold in approach, but they can't get lost in the source here. Kayak getting curious. And he's going to land the shot on YU. That's a problem. Now they're starting to drift a little. 3v3.
एक kill dead होता है ये लोग.
The immovable object. 3 kills in the round could be on for the ace if he keeps going like this, but dealt with. Juicy unlocks that B site. Now the plant is on the cards.
Still got utility here for Crashies as well. Kron, we saw him burn up the snake bite.
भाई एक जन heaven kill लो.
They are grouped. As 2 going to try and sweep through. See if that BB going to be called upon in front of
Oh भाई good shot.
He's done it well. No trade available for Kron there. Has to wait this out now. Maybe a good idea of what
position पता है थोड़ा सा आराम से खेल सकते हैं लोग.
Juicy eyes up towards heaven. I thought he'd hold this with him. It's still solid.
Oh भाई well played यार. Well played.
And now stands the scoreline
बहुत देर बाद खड़ा हुआ भाई ये बंदा, नहीं तो
At 5 to
बख्शता
10,
नहीं है.
Mike. We might be starting to get a bit of a game here.
Looking the first
Comeback
half
हो रहा है क्या?
conversion. Rough timing here for Bosa, I think. Just trying to slip a little deeper. The trade comes through, sure, but it's really what gives Wolves
Comeback हो रहा है क्या guys?
something to pin their hope to towards B site. A 3-round string, actually. Something else to pin their hopes to. Again, hard
Eco
work
round आ गया उनका, eco round.
themselves
आप
on the
भाई
board.
आ गए. अगर इन्हें ये नहीं निकालना, eco में जाएंगे ये लोग. कायक का भाई आएगा.
And this first ult side.
अल्फा का भाई नहीं आएगा, बाकी सबका भाई आ जाएगा.
Yeah, CUFAT BB.
I think OP लेगा कायक.
First influential
OP आएगी OP.
ultimate available to them, but not quite yet.
It's very all in so far, isn't it? At least in this round. Bosta
Timing
he's
will be
found a
big.
cubby, he's found a corner. Has he found an opportunity? The Bucky rattles off. Does well on one, but he can't get the follow-up. The site now not fully in control and the spike hindered. The Prowler being sent up towards ramp finds nothing but Alpha waits.
अच्छा
Flank
पोजीशन
eventuality
बताया नहीं
as
उसने कि
well.
जज है मेरे पे.
Slow and steady. They have to try and keep them at bay here.
Spring's looking for it, and whether there's going to be anything else.
अरे वाह
Draws
यार.
attention, but Kayak will fall.
शुक्र है.
Spotting out Kron as well. They now know one towards CT. They've seen Alpha flying through the air. Dealt with. Done
Gotcha.
for. Wolves are back at the door.
Heaven clear.
6 rounds looking very.
Oh my god, well played guys, well played. That was a good round. teasing booster, team. Nice.
We've got a showman on our hands, and Fnatic should be furious about this.
भाई अब Fnatic सोच में पड़ेगी.
It's just
भाई
how
अब
they're
क्या करे वो इसके यहाँ?
thriving in this sort of scenario. They really come alive when playing from behind. Fnatic will be forced to take a timeout here. It's the operator in hand here for Kayak.
Oh, I'm a happy bunny, Michael. I'm a happy bunny because
I'm
we actually
enjoying it,
get
I'm enjoying it.
pushed here. Because look, we all like good Valorant. We want a close game. We didn't want to see Wolves go out with a whimper, get lost in the depth of a best of 5, and fall short against, you know, one of the greats that there is. Right now, though, they're showing why they made it this far. They're showing that vibe. Cameraman's got an easy job these days, huh?
भाई कैमरामैन को भाई आईपीएल वाला कैमरामैन लाओ ना. तब असली बात बनेगी. हमें आईपीएल वाला कैमरामैन चाहिए.
It doesn't feel like Fnatic looks stressed yet, Mike, but they've got to start feeling that this game is not as easy as maybe it felt on that first.
As well, the concern being another round. I mean, especially now when you're getting battered like this 4 in a row, it's tough to really then find a follow-up, to be honest. We're talking about the same thing that Wolves had to deal with. You can't really establish the economy, build up that cushion. Wolves have shown they're happy to tap into pacier XX, but I mean, this being a perfect example now, way ahead of the curve in terms of what Wolves attack in half.
And Alpha can't really avoid it. He's now been hit by that same pressure that was put down towards Crashies initially. He tried to thread the needle, but the layering was great. So Juicy rewarded. Now Fnatic once again held back. The plant should be next on the cards. Ult-wise, they have nothing here to bank on if you're Fnatic. Trying to keep their heads down. Precarious at the best of times. But the plant's in and the time's on their side.
Bro, it's 5v4 retake, bro. It's 5v4 retake.
Waiting for
क्या होगा?
contact to
क्या
come
होगा?
from the
बताओ
side.
क्या होगा guys आज?
Chronicle guarding it for the time being, but I don't think he's going to find him.
Bosta.
Oh!
Takes down the door. He finds it there on for free, but the trade's good.
ले बेटा Chronicle जैसे को तैसा. हाँ मेरी जान.
To keep that operator.
Nice.
A prized possession. And they've shown real good looks on that side take.
करोगे hunt? है हिम्मत? आओ पे उस पे.
There's nobody else there
नहीं कर रहे.
to really back him up. Maybe not reading that the full brunt of this execute's coming through. Maybe.
मुश्किल है ना.
I can't help but think it kind of goes against the ethos of an operator coming in here. You
Don't
don't
do
necessarily want players exposed, isolated like this. It being Alpha in particular as well.
ये reveal अच्छा था.
Beautiful reveal as well.
Give me fist pump, boys.
Yeah, bro.
It's like I said with
You did a good
players
job,
like
buddy.
you in spring, if you give up that first blood and a man advantage, somebody will
Bro,
take it. They will
7-10 कितना close ले आया भाई वो. I don't care Wolves यहाँ से हारता है तो.
just that.
10-2 था.
Absolutely iced out Fnatic here. Now, if they can note the operator, they can spot where that's kind of committed to early, it'd be incredibly valuable. Deep contact on the Prowler may feel indicative that someone's been pushed up towards B main.
Again, if you're Fnatic, you don't necessarily want to show it too early. Basically put Wolves in charge of the...
Oh, bhai, nice spring. Big kill.
Something work. Walks into the
Alpha के पास है. Alpha बहुत अच्छी ऑफ चलाता है भाई. वो भाई वो बंदा चेंबर में है. चाटे मारता है चाटे.
Can play this game. I know exactly where you are. Good info on the ult as well. Juicy looking to outdo Kron there on the jump spot, but going to keep his life. Not alone in that mid walk too either. It's a 3-2 split as it stands. Looking to maybe adjust that now. They want to take towards that B site. Once again, rinse, repeat, it works. But Alpha, excuse me, you've got an operator. Excuse me, Alpha, you have
Nice
an
trade.
operator.
Nice trade, Spring.
Deny this. And you look at what remains, it's Stingers. Hard to make work if they keep them at arm's length.
अब एक बार पीछे लग चलो पीछे लगाओ है.
Get into the site here, maybe cause some
यार बहुत मुश्किल है क्योंकि इन पे है स्टिंगर.
I mean, Chronicles just now.
Long range fight तो जीत ही नहीं सकते.
Trying to dig out the late lurk, but we can see Spring and YU, the prime candidates for such a role. This time,
एक बंदा ऑफ सेव करेगा.
Chance here, potentially, I mean, with the setup for Fnatic to find an exit, but you've already said it, they need to close the gap, really. I mean, the smoke. Can get it.
Yeah.
Daylight robbery here for the operator.
Oh my 1 HP.
There's no way you know nearly went down there. Kron's like, get down, President.
बस क्या 1 HP था यार वो. चौथा. Oh my.
Right? It's just like
Nice.
who's gonna fall with it now, but look at that string around.
Yeah,
That's 6 in a row. You know, when we outlined the way to get back
Trade
into
अच्छा था actually.
games,
Nice.
you don't really expect it to happen. When we say it's a mountain to climb, you don't really think they're going to be mountaineers, right? You don't expect them to be sherpering their way up that hill, but
10-8 हो गया भाई.
as it stands,
मेरे को लगा नहीं था.
this up, and then it becomes real. Then I'm on board. We have to see what this ult cycle's looking like though, because Fnatic are very close to having the full hand, and they want Kayak in on this. Fnatic trying to make it hurt.
Juicy भाई. With the first blood, bro. Nice.
This is lovely stuff from them, and no chance for that operator to really sing.
Early advantage created here, Wolves. Again, this plays into their hands, allows them to slow the pace,
नहीं दे रहे भाई.
garner some control across the map,
तो info मिल गई
you
क्या?
know they've created a gap in the defenses. Fnatic spread a little thin here, but Kayak, he's the, where's this actually headed? This potentially.
I think ये उसकी जगह पे आ रहा है. जहाँ पे इस वक्त बैक साइड क्लियर करेगा.
This won't be the first time the Kayak's played this sort of position, but he's done really well there. Nice shot and gets out of the jump.
I don't like the peek ahead of the ult, but
yeah, relax. That's 2 ults now invested. One just to even up that initial trade, and this one I don't think he's going to find a target. No.
कुछ भी नहीं मिला भाई.
2 ults in this.
दोनों बर्बाद.
And they are instantly rotating towards A.
And they're ahead of the rotation of Fnatic as well.
And Spring going for a lurk. I like that. But Boaster heads up about it. Smart. Good read from Boaster there.
Well played.
But they still have this A site looking very good. Crashies keeping himself somewhat hidden here. 14 seconds as well. He could be the one to change the outcome of this round if he plays it just right. Boaster trying to keep all eyes on him, but the attention now turns. Crashies can't find the player on the plant, but he does take away CFAT BB. Now down to 2v4, it's unlikely. Why are you looking calm? But it's going to be handled, surely. There it is. Alpha dives in.
Nice try.
They're going to make it back up now.
यहाँ से खत्म हो रहा है. नहीं निकाल पाएगी. पहला मैच जीती मैं सेकंड हाफ में वो लिटरली पहला राउंड.
Here for Wolves to again an opportunity
तो
to
लगातार
isolate
2 मैच जीत
Crashies
रही
here.
है.
I don't want to really say a misread of the map because
लगातार 2 जाएंगे.
way around effectively. Actually, Alpha finding Lysol just ahead of getting out of the smoke. Could argue Spring, that's where you really want to see him tuck in and do
Just look at this.
once more what
Shell
we've seen
lagata.
why you employ. Like I said, they were in a position to capitalize on Fnatic being out of position. See if this continues now. Fnatic, one on the board for the second half. Operator still here. A couple of ultimates come online as well, the 2B and the divide and the pit here. Juicy, speaking of ultimates. Showstopper. Oh, Slicesaw.
Eh? What?
How is Crashies alive?
How the fuck is he alive, bro?
Show me another perspective of that.
I don't get it. Because that looked teed up.
इसका
Right? That looked
कैसे?
spot on.
Cosmetic rocket, apparently.
Didn't buy the DLC, so why you now? Trying to slowly work his way up middle, but this is difficult, right? They're looking for that opportunity. Can Spring maybe give them one? Trying to slip across here, but there's danger to be had. A deep hold from Fnatic going to make them have to really search far. Double stack towards CT. The site is clear. It's almost lulling them into this false sense of security.
Now, this is better for Fnatic. They're waiting for Wolves to hit a side. Nobody overstepping the mark just yet. Why you removed Alpha? Next up here. Next line of defense.
Oh, what a shot, bro. Khatam.
Again, this grip towards CT is in play. They know about the players in middle. They don't know they're still two waiting patiently. The Bulls did want to try and get ahead and maybe get a pick on their side. So we're looking to see if BB and Spring to do what the others couldn't. But a 2v5 is not easy. The ult. Spring wants something on their side. There's the counter though. Doesn't get dodged either. Spring is in trouble. Trying to layer up that utility, but Alpha flies in from above, drops it down. It looks too simple for Fnatic to claim that.
How, bro? Alpha was too good in this.
Can't fault them for investing the pit here. Desperate to try and recover what's...
Huh?
Bhai.
I don't know if we should. The devs are in the building.
Yeah.
Dan?
Can we get that clip to...
नहीं भाई ये गलत हुआ भाई ये गलत हुआ है भाई वो गलत हुआ है भाई I'm sorry bro.
Again, it's one thing to get close to the likes of
Developers, please see. मैं जो गेम ऑप्टिमाइज करो रॉकेट रॉकेट होता है 150 होता है गेम पॉइंट हो गया
map point now for Fnatic.
Sorry man.
Pick goes up early. Alpha and Kron will play inside this. Got to be careful there though. I mean, looking for Kron, and it's Alpha catching a stray or two. But now we'll tuck in. Bosa's got the divide here as well, so another good defensive ultimate. The gauntlet laid out in front of Wolves. Alpha though, way ahead of the mark.
Oh भाई
Kayak evens the odds.
टाइमिंग हो गई बेचारी की यार.
Kayak to take space back on the other side of the map. And now it feels very indicative of this hit towards the side. Boaster going to struggle to stay alive. Does the best he can. How did he get to that beat?
कैसे ले गया वो?
I do not know. But Juicy still holding on here. Doesn't want to give this up.
चलो भाई 3v2 हुआ बट पोस्टर लेके कैसे गया भाई थोड़ा गेम ऑप्टिमाइज करो भाई उस दिन जिंग ने भी ऐसे ही किया है स्टन ओके
think this is still happening? So much util as well. Oh my god, Juicy couldn't deal with it in time. And now they're herded on the site. Kayak closing in as well. Prowler posted. Shot!
Oh, what a shot.
An opportunity gained as Crashy's called upon. He can't do it. And Wolves.
What a good round, bhai.
Beautiful recovery here.
Spring का first kill was
finding
important.
Alpha desperate to try and attack the back line of Wolves. Maybe to still find success towards sight. How Boaster gets that kill. What even? Oh well, yeah.
One of those.
Spike down.
That's rough. But Juicy. Again, he was the person we were talking about in terms of resilience, in terms of his ability to bounce back previously. Ooh, he's the one to open up round 21 for Wolves. Still 3 rounds separate them.
Oh, but this just feels nasty with Alpha here, and Boaster how's he done this again? And they have no idea, doesn't wait, he wants this done. For Alpha, instantly posts his ult as well in a 4v3. And they've been stalled out now.
Okay.
Boaster fallen though. Guess Wolves now, they don't have to run that utility gauntlet. Why are you tucked up again? Expect him to wait for contact. Kayak still committed over towards side A, and Crashes actually digs it out nice and early.
Yeah, the Prowler was just fantastic. And now Alpha feeling unfazed by the presence. A high-low setup. He gets cleared on one, but down to the talisman for this side for Wolves. He can't do it. Chronicle closes the account. It's match one done. Wolves still
Nice try, nice try.
Absolutely. Asking for another comeback once more.
Score, but a best of 5. We'll find out how this goes after the break.
Icebox है भाई अगला.
So he doesn't stand up like that little NPC.
Stupid!
Spring, everyone. Alright, wait. I'm just sorry. What? Super 5! And then Silpat BB getting a double one from me.
Target कर रहे हैं भाई.
Super 5!
इसकी हाँ. जूसी ने कोशिश करी है भाई लास्ट में. ये हो गया मेट्रो यहाँ. भाई इधर देखो भाई अल्फा को रेज डेप दे दिया भाई ने. रेज डेप अच्छा खेल रही है यार टीम भाई फैनेटिक. आइसबॉक्स टफ होने वाला है. क्या लगता है गाइस आइसबॉक्स में क्या होगा? आइसबॉक्स में क्या होगा यार, देखते हैं. अरे तुम्हें पता है कल आई है मेरी बाइक. आफ्टर लॉन्ग वेट शी इज कमिंग. कल लेने जाना है भाई 12 बजे. मेरे को 11:30 बजे तक स्टेशन पहुंचना है. 11:30 पौने 12 बजे तक बाइक आएगी. फिर उसके बाद उसको खुलवाना है, काम कराना उस पर. इतनी खुशी हो रही है ना मेरे को मेरी बाइक आ रही है तो. आई एम फीलिंग लिटरली हैप्पी. खुशी हो रही है मेरे को. यस अब मैं आवारागर्दी कर सकता हूँ. आवारागर्दी नहीं भाई, काम के लिए आ रही है. ठीक है, ऑफिस जाना होता है मेरे को उतना दूर 18 किलोमीटर. उसके लिए आ रही है बाइक मेरी. अच्छा है ये वाला फ्लेवर, मैंगो पैशन फ्रूट वाला फ्रूट ड्रिंक. अच्छा लगा मेरे को. स्ट्रॉबेरी भी है, एप्पल भी है. ठीक है, ये थोड़ा मैंगो अच्छे लगते हैं ना, एकदम फ्रेशनेस तो अच्छा लग रहा है मेरे को ये वाला भी भाई। बट तो वो जो हम कंचा पीते थे ना, सोडा, लिटरली वो है ये भाई। मजा आ गया यार, ये कार्बोनेटेड वाटर एकदम याद दिला दी उसने मेरे को कि हाँ भाई बेस्ट है भाई। ये ओजी क्यों है, बेस्ट चीज है भाई, बेस्ट। अगर गलती से घर वालों ने देख लिया कि मैंने ये बोला है कि भाई गाड़ी आवारा गर्दी करूंगा, अब भी वापस आ जाएगी गाड़ी, पता है। ट्रेन स्टेटस तो देख लूँ मैं क्या चल रहा है। ऐसी इतनी एक्साइटमेंट हो रही है ना, कल सुबह उठ के गाड़ी 1 घंटा लेट चल रही है भाई। 1 घंटा 6 मिनट लेट चल रही है गाड़ी इस वक्त। ये अचानक से गर्मी कैसे हो जाती है यार, मेरे को तो ये नहीं समझ आ रहा। अभी तक तो ठीक था, अचानक से मुझे गर्मी की फील हो गई। अगले में अब चालू हो गया क्या?
And we're going to start this off with Kayak because, well, Kayak's just doing kayak things here, Bea. An absolute beast.
As you said, it's everything about the attack, and Kayak started off super strong on this map, getting a lot of openers and being an absolute nuisance to go up against if you were on the side of walls. 10-2 for that side, and if Kayak is having one of those days alongside Alpha and Chronicle, it's going to be a difficult one for the Wolves.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he had a bit of a slow beginning
Kayak का debut है, पता है तुम्हें, पहली बार खेल रहा है बंदा,
instantly. I think it was 12
और वो बंदा बहुत अच्छा खेल रहा है।
ridiculous like that. I do think though, just that coach interview with Milan where he was talking about, listen, we actually didn't have a great idea of how to shut that down on the defense.
Yeah.
But the individual player impact ended up pulling them through what ended up being quite a close game.
Yeah, it is interesting because Wolves are completely asleep. They lost the first 8 rounds in a row. I think they were making some like pretty simple mistakes, not trading each other, looking like they couldn't really figure out what to change up. But once they got that energy in the second half, it was the same win conditions we've been talking about for the Wolves all tournament long, but which is how rough that first half was. There just wasn't time to get back into split.
And so many times it's just Spring and the plays that he can make. The wall that he was using on B was such a massive problem. But it all started with this crazy round. Round number 9, we're just screaming, please do not peek. He doesn't have time. He ends up ulting out of it and just strikes the post.
But I think the silliness of this round kind of broke the mental barrier that was up for Wolves, where they felt like they were the worst team. I think they looked nervous, they looked like they didn't really have a game plan, and I think at that point they started to believe that they could win. It's rough though that they started on Split, because that's a really good map for them, but they kind of wasted the first 8 rounds being nervous.
And it sounds stupid to say, but I think one of the indexes of how good Wolves is playing in a map is how silly they are on stage and what Sufat Baby is doing. And once they won that bonus round, once they got back into it, he's hitting the L dance back at post, or he's doing all this stuff that they've been doing to all tournament to kind of play up to the crowd. And I think that's super critical in a game like this, to not overthink it, to keep the underdog mentality and just chill out. Hey, it's another game. Don't get stressed out by a BO5.
Always good to see the trademark Lysor stand and stare. You love to see it, kids. That being said, let's go to the coach of the Wolves and hear what he has to say.
Now joined by Coach Fade ahead of map 2. You guys showed so much resilience on map 1. You probably could have closed it out if the first half wasn't so skewed. So how do you make sure your boys don't go into Icebox as cold as they did on Split?
I think we give them too much respect, like in terms of their calling and map control. So now we're gonna fight back. Get ready, Fnatic.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much.
All right, he said that they were given
bro.
much respect, and while we did see that they were starting to gain that
It's
confidence
time for Icebox.
after round after round.
One of my favorite maps.
Icebox, a great
People
opportunity
don't
for
like
the Wolves
Icebox.
to answer back.
Yeah, exactly. They
But
decided to
ये
go for
बहुत
this
अच्छा
map.
match
We've
है.
seen them playing in the tournament, and the idea for both of the teams is a bit different, right? Wolves, they've showed how they put that Gecko out. I want to see if they repeat that composition, and if we're going to see that synergy between YU and Juicy, because that is what brought them the win against RRQ.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the game plans look like too.
Yeah,
I think
Boaster.
actually, Boaster's called some really
Boaster
creative
girlfriend.
looks on this map. It's something he's been super comfortable with in the long term too. So it's a test of a map pool. This second map ends up being a bit more of a test of endurance as well. You get off to a bit of a nervous beginning, and now you start to settle into a BO5. It's about Wolves finding that rhythm for me, I think.
Yeah, it absolutely is. For Fnatic, though, this feels like the most comfortable map they could really get to try and go up 2-0 in this series. They've always been excellent here on Icebox. They've had a great run on it back on EMEA this year. I've especially liked them switching into a Sage comp that kind of fell out of popularity for a lot of time, but is just so strong on this map. Fnatic is a team that loves to play retake pretty much every map they are playing, and on this map they do such a great job of stalling out that plant, getting everyone in position, and just winning these easy retakes with that Sage wall up and the players flooding in.
Yeah, and as we jump into Agent Select, I want to see if Wolves is going to repeat that. Yes, they logged that instantly.
Wow.
YU is going to be on that Gecko, and with them starting on the attack, again, I want to mention how important it is for Juicy to have a good showing on this first half. As you're saying, Fnatic is going to give them a lot of space. It was one of the solutions that they found on Split. Finding an opener, going back, just play the time, play for the retake, and Chronicle is a great stage.
We need to see a confident Wolves that's willing to fight up in their post flanks, get ahead of Fnatic's
Okay, भाई,
utility,
Gecko
and
choose
be
कर
willing
लिया
to
हमने.
challenge them. If Fnatic is allowed to just play the set retakes the way they want to, I think they'll run over this defense.
I think pistol round 2, you're going to watch Chronicle on defense. He's going to buy the wall, and Wolves need a game plan, especially on the pistol, because it's almost impossible to break the Sage wall quickly there. So that's where I think, Mimi, your point of playing up, playing aggro, they've got to have a game plan on the pistol built around not letting Fnatic just walk back in with that Sage wall defuse.
And for both teams, it does come down a little bit to their Jets, two players that have both won Ascension in different years. For Kayak, it was straight to Fnatic after winning with Apex. For Juicy, had that year off. Now here for his first time as well, going head-to-head on these agents that can absolutely take over on Icebox.
We heard what Coach Fade said earlier on. They
Gecko,
don't want to be in
KJ
a
is a
position
good,
where they're just
Alpha with the
giving
KJ,
too much respect
Sova
to Fnatic.
चाहिए,
They have to fight
Juicy with
them
a
right
jet,
where they are.
ये
Otherwise,
पर.
Fnatic, an experienced team of guys who've been here and done that, could very
Single
well.
controller, Kayak with a jet,
This is
bro.
going to be a big challenge
एकदम ही
here for the
basic
Wolves.
team.
And the question is, can
इसमें
they
सिर्फ
tie this
Gecko
1-1?
double
We're going to have to
initiator
find
है.
out because it's a BO5. So if this one's far from over, let's send it back over to Pansy and Hypoc for Mat 2.
Okay, map 2 Icebox. Now, I think something said there really resonated with me, Mike. The fact that there is that fear of a name, right? Fnatic are legends in this. It makes you almost respect them too much, right? That second half showed real signs of life for Wolves, but I don't think we can keep depending on those, you know, running it back, playing from a deficit. I need to see them hit the ground running.
It's exciting to watch, never comfortable.
Yeah.
For that to be the game plan and that to be, you know, the strongest aspect of the playbook. So for sure, I mean, it's got to just be so exhausting to constantly be channeling or playing from behind and channeling into that sort of psyche. And again,
Chalo bhai.
I come back to the same thing. You never really are able to win a veto.
Fnatic defend कर रही है.
Fnatic, and this being
Wolves
the biggest
attack.
concern, I guess, in the home stretch.
चलो भाई.
It's coming to Icebox map 2. Again,
भाई ने
life shown.
ले लिया डार्ट. वो alt point.
Carry that
Easy
across
point
now.
ले लिया भाई.
Of course, if you're just tuning in, 13-9 on the first in favour to Fnatic. Here onto Icebox, Wolves will be starting out on the attacking side, setting the tempo themselves. Fnatic looking to hinder that. Hello!
Nice first blood, bro. Nice first.
Tried to stick around the little
First
T-bomb.
blood. Nice first blood, guys. First blood. Fumble नहीं कर रहा हूँ मैं. वो बस हल्का सा इधर-उधर हो रहा है.
Almost immediately. Still got the wall to work with here for Fnatic. So, Kayak want to open things up here.
Nice.
Hugo finds a response.
Yeah, trying to go around the site. I kind of liked it, but he almost fumbled for a moment. And Chronicle, this guy just keeps getting better and better as the day goes on. And Suvat BD just has to try and peer over that wall. But Chronicle
भाई
decorates
कैसे ले गए?
looking comfortable.
भाई धड़ाधड़ 4v3 ले गए भाई.
Again, these are the sort of retakes that Fnatic will play towards time and time again.
भाई full ball पे खेल गए वो.
They want to open things up, and you almost expect a couple of extra bodies alongside YU here. You've got to anticipate. I mean, you see the comp immediately, you know where the strengths lie.
पोस्टर ना माने हैं?
Almost exactly the same woo. So yeah, they rehearsed that.
I think they practice. Now, for Wolves, it is just classics. But again, we talk about this. I don't want to see them
Kayak
go
with
to
the
that
Phantom,
massive
Booster
deficit.
with the Bulldog.
Have to claw it back for themselves. We know they can. We'd love to see them get that ball rolling early. As it stands, Fnatic, you're looking at the purchase here. You maybe say 3 of those weapons,
ये
especially
Prisma Phantom से
Kayak's
खेलने
hands,
लगे
make
क्या?
posters they'd want to keep hold of. And Kayak
Huh?
hasn't been moved. Gets away with murder in the back of yellow. Eventually overwhelmed the boasters right there. This simplistic stuff. Suvat Baby does get that prized possession, but they want it back, and they're going to get it. Simple stuff from Fnatic, not feeling phased so far.
Just the one casualty will establish.
वो बंदा भी 2 kill लेके गया, ठीक है.
Cushion here for Fnatic to lean upon. Get the freebie behind.
Down B. Enemy remaining.
He be like अबे मारा क्यों नहीं? कैसे मारे बॉल है?
He was like, yeah, you're just shooting and the second or third lands, you're not even trying it.
Yeah, you just light work.
I'm like, yeah, same for me all the time.
Yeah, 100%. So, big round for Wolves now. Buys in play.
भाई पिछला मैच जीतो यार तुम. I mean बहुत ही close किया है तुमने. Come on, bro.
Early test on middle. You can see where the vast majority of the attention resides.
Momentum लेके चलो. इतना अच्छा खेला है तुमने Wolves.
Kayak on that deeper line. God, how far is he willing to find this? Lysor, keep your eyes on the prize.
Oh, that was a good escape, bro.
On the other side, but early contact made.
Peel away from this pretty quickly.
Escape अच्छा था.
To stop Wolves progressing towards A, but certainly a few pieces of kit to slow down this execute. And the alarm bot placement actually prevent any further push-up towards screens.
भाई जेट बहुत अच्छी है इस मैप पे, पता है तुमको?
First wave.
जेट बहुत अच्छी है. Lysor ले गया पहला.
A key piece in the retake.
It certainly is, but they're losing some of that HP on the site, but they do at least get the plant now. Not a fully comfortable post-plant. Juicy still making the best of a bad situation. Taking down Boaster on only 3. That mid-luck is coming in. That is Lysor on the way. Maybe not necessary, but a lovely string to the bow here. Oh, that's clean. And now just one. And Lysor's got it.
Lysor.
Beautiful gutting of the leg of the line in this one.
Good.
Wolves getting back into it.
अच्छी बात है. सालों ने बैंड नहीं बजाई खुद की.
Early response found here from Wolves. Both teams converting the bonus in map 1, so
1 HP था. मार दिया उसने.
those previous results already.
Juicy 1 HP था.
Flag already round number 4. Operator in hand for him. And already shown signs of defensive proactivity in the previous. Sit back maybe a little deeper here, set up on a sideline.
And again, if you're someone like Fnatic, you have the ability to be a little bit boisterous almost as well. hold those more confident, deeper lines.
आजकल कोई retakes के लिए swamp grenades का कोई नहीं
To
करता.
almost temper that, right? Bring them back into
Side
the
abilities पूरा उसके
cull
लिए.
some of that confidence. But there's always a good balance with Fnatic. They're not going to go too far. You can see what the attempt is here from Wolves. A little early glance towards A. Let's see where they're stacking now.
Again, it's always a discussion topic. Seeing the nanos from Lysor burn up versus the Sage, you really want to keep as many of those stalls, utilities in the post plant as possible. You're trying to, I guess, weaken Alpha's hold on mid. Not really going to amount to much.
Most of that is a brave swing there, but does get the info on the cross towards yellow. So the rotation's going to be coming in with some...
Oh, bhai.
But Juicy gets caught. Alpha quick to it. They want that plant, but Alpha is doing damage from above. Catching CFAT BB as well is a problem. And Waiu's ult doesn't feel safe from this position either. So has to play it out here, trying to find some security, and that's going to help matters. Spring makes his presence known through middle and puts him into this 3v4.
Stuffed up now, they have to dig out a player from back yellow.
Oh, bhai.
Gifted. One onto Spring here, and it's just why you left
Billy,
there.
Billy,
And they
Billy,
got to
Billy.
know about it. They know about his position to an extent. And he's been absolutely corralled by Crashies.
फंस गया यार वो वहाँ पे पता है.
Solid here. Very disciplined in that play back in, and certainly helped by Alpha catching two.
अगर वो ऑफ से उधर नहीं मरता ना तो वहाँ राउंड निकल जाता था. और ये तो भाई अल्फा ये जो 2 किल ले गया ना.
To react here. And here's the first, second immediate. I mean, Lysor really, like I said, with that
Just
plant
too
position,
good,
he's the
bro.
one that you really want to see have that.
Just
I guess
retake
safety
was
from the
so
front line,
good.
but he doesn't have to peak too early. So again, Spring was giving away an opportunity for Fnatic to find a way back in.
Okay, they've got the ult with Waiu, so that's something they have at least in the back pocket. But the purchase a little bit weakened, as you can see. There's going to be the ult, maybe just trying to isolate Boaster, clear through yellow. We've seen Kayak's been a problem there. A little bit of a layer to that as well. You saw early on Juicy trying to take the space behind it, see if he can catch a punish, but not to be. But fast rotations in mind. Look at the presence here already, Mike. That's 4 players on this side.
A pause for thought on the way in here. Kayak, see the X-ray littered with Wolves players.
Environment for this man.
Waiting for the wall to come back up over the top. Kayak will still find one.
Oh, and Juicy trying to play.
Oh, bhai.
That desperation to find some security. And that is a brave ult. It's worked out. Core Boaster. Is anyone there to try and keep him safe? Yeah, there's plenty. You don't get an easy kill.
इतने लोग भाई. ऊपर से काया कितना अच्छा खेल रहा है. Oh भाई, Alpha is doing it.
I'm scared of this Fnatic though, because it doesn't feel like there's pressure on them, right?
बहुत casual होके खेल रही है. 3-0 लेके जाएगी.
Calm, having fun. Same to be said on the other side, but at some point that strain of potentially being 2 maps down will start to hit here. Again, Kayak. I feel like I'm almost underselling Kayak at times because he's hit the ground running. I know he was this big tier 2 prospect coming up. He was the
क्या crisp headshot था भाई.
But unbelievable.
Let's just remind ourselves, first international showing. Already. Yeah, already looking at top 3. But aside from that, having such a strong performance individually.
Come on, dude. Step up, guys. Jago.
Would be happy to step into any iteration of Fnatic rosters over the years, but again, to come in and be, I guess, the headline in a number of individual performances is just fantastic to see for him.
It is, and again, he's taken the role of once was the king of Icebox Durka, right?
Yeah, at times we've even said this thankless role. Again, Durka went through peaks and troughs, and went through it, along the years, but Kayak already showing here that he's up to the challenge. He has done regionally as well. So fantastic, so happy to see he's able to carry that through. Again, surrounded by a wealth of experience that really pays dividends for, call it a rookie. I saw some pings here. Is this just a straight up mid split, potentially?
Got to try
Alpha,
something.
Yeah, Alpha immediately putting the alarm out the window.
I'm a little scared of Alpha in this form, though, and I think most players would be. But for Juicy,
Oh, bhai.
like mincemeat, clears him fast, right up the guts. As now Fnatic split.
Oh, bhai. Spring, take it, bro.
A couple more of those, and maybe it's game back on. But how do they get this towards the site? It looked like they wanted that A, but now they've already adjusted, heading up towards B. Juicy trying to buy the time, only one more knife.
एक ही knife
To
बचा
the
है
throat of Fnatic here. And Kayak trying to keep his attention turned. Crashes clears through. The plant now just going down Spring. With a big valuable weapon here, caught up, picked up from the corpse of Alpha.
Rez
It's
here.
fallen.
Easy Rez है भाई.
Goes to Boaster over Alpha.
I was going to say, Alpha and Crashes both actually have their ultimates as well.
Interesting choice.
See how now if they can recover that, maybe prioritizing.
Look at this position from Sufab, baby. Look at this. Could be absolute money. Wall goes up.
Oh, he got a collide, bro.
The money worth its weight in gold. But Kayak in the 1v2. Kayak in the 1v2. Kayak in the 1v2. Someone swinging. Okay, he's doing the dance with YU. He's trying to find that next target. Isolated. Still on. Oh! It's unthinkable from Kayak.
Oh, bro. Oh my fucking god, bro. Kayak, you beauty, bro. भाई साहब पहला क्लच मैप का गेम का अभी तक
International showing.
डेब्यू में लोअर ब्रैकेट फाइनल्स.
You thought that was going to be the highlight of the round. And then this man does this. Bloody hell, that shot.
That was just too good from Kayak, bro. Well played.
2 now. Top of the board for Fnatic.
He wants more. Confidence brimming. Handled on the first though. Denied freedom. Quick heal. And he's unrelenting. He wanted to stick around.
साला जा रहा था ये तो और आजा पहले.
Wolves unable to pin him down. Start. Again, don't shy away from the fight. Same could be said for Kayak. Healed up now in a second chance. Second bite. Actually comes through. What? He's found another one.
How's he got 2 out of that? Sheer control from Kayak. Gets them the man advantage early. And there's a fast flank on the way.
Oh, my flank.
They thought you won out the side, but now you're surrounded.
And actually, yeah, the plant coming through. Unorthodox position.
उसने अल्टी तोड़ी हल से.
Crashes looking for something. Juicy didn't get hit there.
I thought that was on. Had a couple of these ults today. Second time of asking, but look at the positioning from Alpha and Boaster. They've got him pinned on the site, and that's the problem. Now they've got to evacuate. Where do they decide to go? Well, there's no good way to go here. Spring trying to find a corner to play from.
It's got a little bit of safety, but it's not safety.
No, it's a 1v4.
Oh, my.
And there's a flying Kron. Fnatic just being filthy about it. This is Fnatic looking in.
भाई ये तो 3-0 है.
And that is a terrifying prospect to any team.
I was about to say,
ये हो गया ना main.
I can see Kayak posted up on this wall, and I was thinking, there's no way. There's no way Dry's just swinging on that. But then there's 4 members of Wolves facing the opposite direction.
Thinking he's not going to
Yeah,
swing that.
nobody's going to swing through this.
ये mid से क्यों नहीं ले रहा है?
Yeah, the timeline now 4 successful diffuses for Fnatic. Wolves once again asking for a recovery here.
साले पास एक वो जीते हैं लोग.
5-round deficit, more manageable than where we've seen them before. Sorry.
Yeah. The scary thing is, in my mind, I think a lot
Bonus
of us
round
love
was
the
जीते
idea
लोग.
of the underdog, right? It's hard to not love what Wolves have done, but it does feel like somehow we've awakened the old gods. I mean, Fnatic haven't looked this good. I mean, we cast them plenty of times. We've all watched them regionally. They ain't looked like this in a minute, but right now, they're looking scary, but Wolves trying to hold on here. Oh, that's nice. Juicy could have done with another, but Crash is quick to business.
Bro, कितने crisp खेल रही है भाई इस वक्त. बोल रहा हूँ ना aim fights.
Kayak dash will burn up, so
इसमें तो positioning बहुत अच्छी है इनकी.
be a little more, like, dare I say, passive in terms of these peaks. I saw potentially good timing on the wall breaking.
I'm already seeing Kron looking that way, though.
Yeah, I mean, eyes trained that direction.
Discipline now being shown from both sides. See if there's an overstep. The Fnatic's re-clear is very, very reserved. I guess the only risk they're taking is really Kron. And there it is, lovely. Oh, the trade still. Great positioning.
ये trades
I thought that was a fair
ही
fight.
भारी पड़ रहे हैं इनको पता है.
Sufat Baby is now locked on that site.
Safe plant. He's not really got many options. Even ahead of the wall as well. Chronicle looking to just stand his ground, take this engagement. An awkward exchange back and forth, but Post is there waiting.
The thing that scares me, Mike, this is the attacking side where Wolves have been strong. They've been
Oh, ये white peak भाई, white swing पूरा.
They might have met their match here.
एकदम ही surprise कर दिया कि
One step above. These big games.
बना दे painting.
Pressure get to the best of them. But for now it's 7-1. Fnatic feeling none of that.
Game plan looking undeterred here. I mean, even just, that's how some of these replays are brutal to see.
Trade game बहुत अच्छा है ना इनका.
But yeah, unfortunately, Wolves, you're almost hoping now that they have another option, a way to kind of lean away from, I don't want to say these dry hits, but kind of run up, find, you know, the free plant, the back of Wingman, because necessarily working for, I mean, they're getting to the post plant. We already saw the timeline. It's diffusers coming through for Fnatic, but they're so well drilled. Rarely catch them off guard with those sorts of setups. Hunter's Fury available here for Wolves. One rifle in the hands of Spring.
Mid presence already though. I mean, it feels like Fnatic have identified that there's been those nice mid lurks coming out from Wolves that haven't really got them around, but you can see the pressure it's put on a couple of times. But as it stands, once again, you got Kayak posted on that deep line on A. He's not feeling any pressure. Speaking of pressure, couple of issues downside of the show.
Still able to be activated.
Oh man, this is tough to win, as you can see them really feeling under the gun here. Boast already taken away YU. The plant is in place, but Kron creeping closer. He knows he's got one locked towards side. It's so simple for him.
भाई वो ball use ही नहीं कर रहा है, वो post plant के लिए wait कर रहा है.
Want to clear house. See if that BB, Spring and Lysor desperate for a round. Oh, it's so good.
ओ भाई, क्या OP खेल रही है भाई team Fnatic सही में. भाई time था.
Optimism just gets shattered here, round by round. Fnatic keep getting stronger.
And hoping, I mean, we had another early timeout called here in the first half. So yeah, just popped up on the screen yet. Wolves need to come up with a solution here, because you don't just get a free plant and a free post plant.
पूरा retake पे खेल रही है भाई, बहुत अच्छा retake कर रही है.
How well drilled. They can just they can sit back, just wait for everything. Again here, purchase wasn't there. Slight fumble maybe on the shot dance. So.
It just feels like those nerves are coming up, right? That kind of heady feeling. Now we know that Wolves can bring back games like this. How many times have we seen it? But I think it's the way we're starting to see these rounds go down, right? It's
the issue being that actually Fnatic's the sort of team that you kind of get one of those maps against them. You don't get to repeat that over and over again. So I think, and also Fnatic, one of those teams that once they're ahead, they are a team of momentum, right?
Yes, they are.
Yes, we could talk about some choky history when they're playing from behind, but again, there's also points in their history where they've looked best at playing from behind. So unfortunately, it's one of those teams that some days when they're in form, and they have been here in Toronto, it's tough to really find a weak aspect to the game plan, their mental, and all these other factors.
Kind of crunch time in my mind for Wolves now. Right there. I mean, the crowd of Will is on the sixth man behind them at times, but waiting for something to cheer for. It has been the Fnatic show so far. Right, forced off the first angle though. Spring potentially in a good spot here.
Reed is good from Fnatic coming out of the timeout though. Look at both position. They're ready to spring the trap behind this. Deal with the turret nice and early. It's actually going to draw. Look at Spring. He's walked straight through the orb.
Oh, it is audacious from him. But oh, you know,
Oh!
on Alpha. And this is what I mean, these small moments.
Oh, bhai, le
They're
gaya
slipping
usko.
aside for Wolves. And Juicy's
Lar
still
gaya
there.
bhai.
There we go.
Oh, bhai.
Some power on the site. An opportunity made and maybe denied by Alpha, who should have been dead, keep in mind. Should have been brought down earlier. But Boaster in the back line is going to keep them locked on the site as best he can. A gift given as YU takes him down. Okay. Game back on potentially here. A needed timeout to correct the situation.
Oh, bhai.
God, Alpha. Player standing. A 1v2. Have you just shown them a chance of what could have been to merely take
Oh, bhai. शुक्र है भाई वो अल्टी के लिए भी तैयार था पता है
They needed something. If that's enough to get them going, so be it. But they've got to close out the rest of this half.
Yeah, this is around actually. Fnatic teed up to really take control of. Again, I didn't quite catch it. I was looking at the minimap, but Boaster almost showing his hand a little too early here. Why are you able to then isolate him?
थोड़ा रुक जाता ना पोस्टर हल्का सा 1 2 या 3 सेकंड और तो शायद अभी गेम कुछ और होता उनके हाथ में होता है राउंड मैच तो है ये तो
second on the board for Wolves. Still got a Hunter's Fury, one away from the knives for Juicy. For Fnatic, the res and the pit available. Even there, Chronicle as well getting isolated. Just potentially finding a trade and getting somebody back on their feet. Alpha spotted. Again, could be a key indicator here that actually he is spotted over towards A, but now Fnatic have a finger on the pulse.
They're surrounding him again. Look at this, Kayak.
Ooh.
I mean, Spring's still alive, but it feels like a matter of how long. He's still taking down Kayak. Spring, a really nice try towards middle, and in the meantime, you're looking at Wolves taking over.
Oh my!
Labor spray's not good enough. Plant is in.
Oh yeah.
Gets the plant down times on their side. See that BB does have his ult, but they're dwindling in numbers. Lysor desperate to hold on. He's been doing serious work. But the site now under pressure, under scrutiny. Boaster stepping on through, finds Lysor, leaving just one alive. Sufat BB, the man at the forefront of this roster. And this time he's brought to his knees. Fnatic handling it, Mike.
भाई साहब
I think this might be
भाई
a
साहब
swan song now for them.
एकदम ही जॉ ड्रॉपिंग गेम चल रहा है भाई फैनेटिक का इतना अच्छा खेल रही है भाई वो टीम एकदम हर एक प्लेयर स्टिक होके खेल रहा है यहाँ पे स्प्रिंग को मारा इसने यहाँ पे ट्रेड ना हर एक बंदा इनका कोई ना कोई है किसी के साथ
The same thing here in terms of getting bodies on the flank and addressing that back line. Play from Boaster as well with the pit. Great investment here. And as round 12 purchases goes, that's not the prettiest you'll ever see.
Gotta find something.
पहली बार
Clutching at straws now, Wolves. You gotta dig deep here. Juicy wanting to be the man forward. He was set into motion.
You should run.
The lockdown. Preemptive in approach, but fine. Should facilitate the play in, but Boaster wants to disrupt.
ओहो भाई बोस्टर चलो भाई ट्रेड हो गया
Still good damage, and here comes the flood. Sufat baby's got to call that out. Hello.
Huh?
No hesitation. Maybe causing desolation at this point. Crashes now. Picks up the mantle, and Sufat baby surrounded, trying to get Juicy back into play. Nice work inside.
Nice.
And now a fight in two fronts.
क्रॉनिकल से तो गया
Still plays around, sends in the dark, still alive. How is he alive? One down so low, but Juicy's doing the work on the side. Sufat baby's just playing the time. Yo, he does the dance so well.
भाई कितना सही था यार वो टाइम पास यार भाई देख ही रहा हूँ कर क्या रहा है ओह भाई
9-3, a slight improvement short. Wolves still looking to try and find a recovery once more in the second half.
One enemy.
gives you wings.
An update is required. Financial system updating.
मजा आ गया यार.
System updated. We will dance together. The future of money is here. Feels good.
Nine three half.
Well, things are not looking good for the Wolves right now, but you remember what happened last time when the Wolfpack got together? Let me hear you howl at a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you are a Fnatic fan, I want to hear a stupefy on a count of 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Wolves one more time. 1, 2, 3. And it stupefies on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more time for the whole crowd, for the co-streamers in the booth. Let me hear you make some noise. Give it up here for Masters Toronto!
यार एक बार तो इंडिया में भी बनता है यार.
Fans being silly, you love to see it. Coinbase Econ report here. You got to look at Kayak, Mike. Look at those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, these are some fairly rough reports coming out in this series, particularly for Wolves. But yeah, Kayak standing ahead of the pack, able to maintain a stranglehold of the finances. And that operator alive and kicking.
देख रहे हो? Fantasy points तुम्हारे
Dude, that's
उसमें होते हैं
one of the
क्रिकेट
best
में.
signs I've seen today,
Yeah,
actually.
I actually really like that. People are far too talented.
What was the other one we saw the other day? It was what the hell is a Wolverhampton doing in Toronto? That's another good one.
Yeah. People are far too talented for my likings.
Way more than us.
Yes. No, I can barely speak. As noted by the
That's us.
welcome back. True. Waiting for Wolves to turn up. Because we're hoping for it, right? You wanted to see the Wolves that was scary throughout this tournament, that have won hearts and minds. Right now, under all those lights and all that pressure, Fnatic have come out and looked fantastic. 9-3 in the second map here of Icebox.
क्या
Now
लगता है?
Fnatic's turn on the attack for Wolves. No strangers to walking back scorelines like this, but a brand new environment to do it in, and already Alpha's drawn first blood.
See if that BB calls ahead of the plant coming through. Actually,
nice.
Bring on the regress. Beautiful kill. The crash.
Very nice. Very nice.
Doubles down.
I like it. They're trying to get into this one, but Alpha not allowing fun to happen. A 2v2 is where it rests. Spike feels so far out of hand here, but still, Lysor will be forced off a touch by that util, allowing Boaster to pick that spike back up. Now maybe a pause for thought here, a moment for Alpha to try and work.
So whose shot was that? Was that Alpha's?
It felt like it was, but the feet
Ooh.
shown. And this is tense by all occasions. The fabulous shot from Juicy, leaving just Alpha.
Oh.
This guy has been a menace.
Oh भाई बच गया. Almost.
They gotta keep going.
We said in the first map.
He wants to finish it quickly, bro. उसको पता है risk हो सकता है.
The same success, find a bonus conversion on top because we're not just talking pistol round 2.
30 seconds
to establish
One ending.
the foundation of that snowball very early on. Beautiful start once more. Alpha denied the clutch.
उसको पता है risk हो सकता है, पता है booster को.
To this one, we do see the outlaw with Alpha. Heard the earlier one from Juicy over on that B side of the map. So I don't know how much play Alpha's going to get into this. Let's see. YU, got to be careful here. Plenty of threats. They're trying to play Alpha in.
Yeah.
Retake पे खेलेंगे.
Steps up now.
भैया आने दो
I don't
पैस
say a
किया.
free site, but it's an open site at least.
Scanning ahead. Good investing full belt of util for Chronicle as well. Rashi's eating up.
Oh, 1 HP.
Lucky boy, still breathing barely, but he is standing.
Oh.
Get out of here, Kayak. What's
Oh भाई क्या हो रहा है? भाई वो बंदा 1 HP है.
Kick it up again. The savior from the first now called upon in the second.
Oh भाई wave 4 है.
This close. And they're still out for the back lines. They're dwindling in numbers, right? Wolves trying to bring this back here. Spring trying to be opposing, but it's down to Kayak in the 1v1. Up against
Just
Spring.
got to say, yeah, safe defuse point as well.
This is nice. Kayak trying to close the gap, but
He got off it.
hesitation, and maybe a mistake. Kayak, are you really gonna break their hearts right now? 3.
Oh भाई. Kayak bro is so crazy bro.
Fnatic had nothing.
भाई Crashes 1 HP था वो तब वहाँ खेलने गया.
Coming alive here on Icebox. But just in general, I mean, Crashies, the walking dead on the site.
गंदा whiff कर रही है भाई team.
Reset gets a little bit of a heal, but then finds another kill. Kayak's
बहुत important था भाई bonus round.
deny the safe defuse.
I mean, we're talking about, if you're looking at rookies who've ever performed like that, it's a very short conversation at international level. Oh my god, charging down Alpha like that. Not a good idea. Simple stuff for the man. Handled well though, and down to a 3v3.
Could be a way back into this with Lysort up close and personal already. I mean, you don't want Crashies facing this ultimately, but finds a headshot. A second to find though.
Ooh, it's right on a knife's edge here. Why you could
Oh,
be
देख लिया.
unlocking the opportunity.
Oh.
Pedigree from Crashies, baiting out the first, connecting with a headshot.
ये मैं भी गया.
It's just a classic
11-4.
left. Now to see you, Fat BB.
And that timer. Just singing the song of Fnatic here, that spike. Forcing him forward, there is not many opportunities, and Crashies basically in the checkmate, even if it got tense, even if he took down 2, there was always Crashies. And Wolves trying, you can't say they're not.
Enemies close.
But Fnatic now very close to closing out this second.
Wolves will have a chance to buy back in here to round 16. Heartbreaking to see a second round flip.
वो जो second map round हार गई ना वहाँ game खराब हो गया.
On Icebox again, not a formality just yet.
तीनों खड़े हो गए भाई.
He stands.
वो देख भी नहीं रहे.
Oh dear, is the curse true? Let's see. To do it into a round like this as well. Oh, a buy-in play for Wolves. The best opportunity to build any
Last round
this game.
for them.
And that, well, what the hell is that?
अंधा होके भी मार दिया भाई.
Oh,
Again, you can see, yeah, got gas left in the tank, but when Kayak's finding kills like this, shutting down that proactivity, Juicy trying to pave the way to take control.
You should run.
Round 16 now, the lockdown comes through from Alpha. Roll out the red carpet for Fnatic here onto A site. Stacked up flank here though, Boaster. Got to be careful these sight lines. The turrets here.
Nice timing,
Yeah,
Crashies.
to give information across.
It's that's an instant call to arms, right? Crashies finding YU really well done. Boaster should be there with it. Now
भाई.
gonna have Kayak coming back across. Wolves looking to try and split them, but they've stood tall together. And Spring and Sufat BB having no play into this. Oh, it's looking all too easy for Fnatic now. Wolves crumbling under this pressure, Mike.
NHK भाई.
Where have they gone?
Now facing map point on a broken bar. This is just ridiculous from Kayak.
किस्मत ही खराब है भाई बेचारे की. बेचारों की किस्मत खराब है भाई.
Juicy for committing to this.
ये लोग कैसे stick होके खेल रही है उनकी टीम पूरा.
Bodies behind this, but just so rough to see those sort of things not converted. Guardians across the board now for Wolves. A pit and play, but Again, the way these halves have panned out, not necessarily the sort of ultimate that's going to really swing the odds in their favour.
Poison's off.
So fast rotation. Wolves want to try and get ahead of this potentially. Maybe find a favourable engagement, but it's going to come through. The wall goes up. Find the mark. Chronicle over the top. Will find Juicy once more.
And Alpha just finding ease in middle as well. These shots look too simple for him. Man advantage now to Fnatic. As Wolves are a little on the ropes here. Most are trying to buy the time. Stall them out a little. The Viper's Pit trying to facilitate the cross through. Maybe apply a little bit of pressure, but look who's waiting. Looking like the rookie could have ended it, but no. Spring gonna fight forward.
Oh!
Fantastic from Spring.
Hunter's Fury available.
You can hear it rattling off in the distance. Alpha still standing guard on the site itself. Does fall in the end. Now Crashy's called into this. You can hear the time ticking. Super BB can do nothing but stand back and watch. Map 2 is Fnatic.
ओ भाई खत्म हो गया.
The Wolves crumble under the pressure.
एक मैच और जीतना है बस और उनको 2 मैच 3 जीतने होंगे अगर.
Is there anything left in the tank for the Wolves now?
Fnatic taking firm control this series.
कोई बात नहीं यार, ये लोग अच्छा खेल रहे हैं for that, you know, first time on a big stage. बड़ी टीमों को हराया भाई उनने. कोई बात नहीं, होता है भाई. You can see team depth here. सब 25 के ऊपर है और यहाँ पे 3 गेंद बस होता है. अगला है लोटस.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Esports is a $2 billion industry now, but it all started in dingy basements and cramped living rooms.
From how the pros train to how the money flows, this G2 and MasterCard series breaks it all down. 12 episodes, packed with insight and lessons for anyone looking to understand the world of competitive gaming. Ready to learn the game behind the game?
Stay tuned for what's next.
You won't want to miss it.
MasterCard. HyperX. ये बेस वापस आ रहा है. नहीं एविस नहीं बाई ना अच्छा होगा भाई अभी अगले ही महीने यार Yes, me. Right. भाई बेचारा क्या होगा व्यूअर्स ये है तो बुली हो रहे हैं पता है अभी
the grand finals weekend, and we decided to cook some stuff up. I'm joined here by Leanne and also Aiden. Leanne, where are you coming from?
Montreal.
Oh, ça va bien? C'est pas français?
Oui, un petit peu.
Nice. And you are coming from, sorry?
Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York. Did you drive or fly?
We drove.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for making all this time to come out. And as I'm touching your shoulder, I'm realizing that you're off balance a bit. Do you know what's going on here?
I have some things attached to my feet currently.
How about you?
Then we're gonna pump it up.
Oh, that's the great hit. What we have here is a balloon on top of each other's heads. So, Leanne, you are representing here Fnatic, and you are representing the Wolves. So what we're gonna try to do here is have a pop-off segment, right? You need Wolves to pop off right now. You need this balloon to pop. So we have these apparatus here. So we have the pumps that we talked about. And now we're gonna have our staff put the tubes to your head. And you wanna pump as fast as possible and have your balloon pop. We've already seen Kayak pop here in the 2 maps so far. And now we need Wolves to try to make a comeback. Can Spring do it? Can Lysor do it? And speaking of springs, we're gonna start springing our pumps here. Are you both ready?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Leanne?
I think so.
All right. So if you're ready on your marks, we're gonna go on 3. 1, 2, 3, let's go! Toronto, give it up here! Do we have the Wolves? We have Fnatic, the Cardew's in, the feats are out! Oh, and we do have the Wolves after all, a small disqualification here for Fnatic.
ओ भाई क्या है ये खुद भी गेम बना देते उसके पैर से ही निकल आया यार बेचारे के
And Fnatic are 2-0 in this one, and I gotta say that halftime game, I've never seen anything like that in my life. That was awesome there. But let's take a look real fast at the HyperX Reflex moment of the day, because this goes to Kayak yet again. I mean, this kid is just unbelievable. This play was ice cold.
This is unreal. I think this is the second best play of the tournament, right behind that Kiko ace. How does he get this final kill?
It's just incredible out of Kayak, but this run is also indicative of this game as a whole.
ये क्या कोलैट का है भाई ये स्मोक was good to hold पहले तेरे को मारूंगा
so good at shutting down players who are playing up, getting that sage wall down, and fighting forward as the defuse comes through. It was a fantastic icebox from Fnatic.
I think that they were very quick on their reacts and
अरे
probably
इनको पता था यार कि आइसबॉक्स में सेज कितना काम किया
from players that I did not expect, like Chronicle and Kayak going for the kill, but Chronicle being ready with the heal, even if it's that. And if we look at the performance that Kayak is having, that we say it's amazing. It's been a resemblance of what we had in playoffs in EMEA. So if for tomorrow we're going to get this Kayak, maybe we get another 3-0 for Fnatic in the grand final.
He actually could be a late run for MVP if he pops off in that game too, if indeed Fnatic can get themselves there.
Oh yeah.
And remember,
bro,
Rookie
it's
stepping into the
paper
shoes
eggs,
of
bro.
was incredible in stage 1, showing that here as well. Those are the stats that we're talking about with them winning into these retakes. Wolves got the spike down all but 1 round, only closed it out 3 times.
Yeah, it's an absolute heartbreaker for them there, but it goes to show Kukuka just how studied, how prepared this Fnatic team is in these situations.
I think that the most scary thing is that at the beginning of the tournament, of course, they came in with a lot of preparation because out of the EMEA teams is the one that had the most,
And
but
it's
things were
Fnatic.
not working. They were making a lot of silly mistakes. Now we found a Fnatic whose plans are working.
Which is scary for everyone else.
भाई
involved in
इको
this
निकाल
situation.
रहा हूँ मैं तो
Wolves right now, Josh, because they're facing the bottom of the barrel. This could very well be it for them if they're not careful.
I felt pretty decent about Wolves in that first map because they were able to get back into things, thought it was nerves to knock them down early 8-1. This map was 8-1 again though, that is rough.
There's something about miracle runs ending in third place. You look back to Zeta Division at Reykjavik, the first EDG run. It's happened to a lot of other miraculous teams, but going into Lotus, a good map for both teams. Wolves having to stay
Raise
their
ले
run
ले
on
भाई
this one.
raise ले
The thing is though, Fnatic, this is just home territory. They're incredible here. And you've got to look back at the history of this squad and think that Fnatic are going to be able to get across the line here and deliver their 4th global grand final. They're within touching distance and it's almost home ground here on Lotus.
But what do the Wolves do to come back into this one? Because it seems like everything is lining up for Fnatic as it currently stands right now, Mimi. This is scary territory for the CN team to be in.
I think they just have to, honestly, it's going to sound simple, but they have to focus on themselves. You have to let go of this lower final, how the game has gone thus far. Play to your own strengths. Slow the game down on your attacking side. Let Spring get involved in those lurks. And just remember the fundamentals. There are so many hero plays that Fnatic have pulled out in this series thus far. They need to be very on point with how they're trading, how they're scaling together, and just work it round by round.
With Fnatic starting on the attack, they need
भाई
to
इनको थोड़ा trade game पे ध्यान देना पड़ेगा पता है
It's not only finding the comfort and the synergy, they need to at least play into the Fnatic game of getting one pick down and walking back. Leave them the space. Try to play for the retakes the same way that the Fnatic has been doing with you.
I'd like to see them too, once Wolves are on their attack side getting into these kind of positions. You got to disrupt the Fnatic retake. We just watched a map where Fnatic were able to do whatever they wanted on those retakes. And I think Wolves have got to come up with game plans before they even get the spike down to try to disrupt that idea.
Come on, Juicy.
Lotus has been such a good map for Fnatic
Chill kar
in
bete.
history. It's not a good idea if you're another team to pick this onto them. We've seen a lot of the Odin and what it can do. To me, it's also very scary the form the Crashes is finding in this tournament.
I want to see a Wolves that's also willing on their attack side to go for early fights for A lobby control. Fnatic as a team very often is only having Boaster or maybe one other player play that space. And when they contain that space, it's only ever Boaster standing there. And he's very willing to fall back. So if Wolves are going for a re-clear place, they can get a lot of space there. It's going to help out their macro a ton on attack.
Can't help but think about what Coach Fade said in that interview. They got to stop giving Fnatic that respect. But the problem is, Josh, is that Fnatic takes that respect away from you. And they don't care what you want because it seems like they're in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, they've also got 3 players absolutely on fire and a star-studded roster. So the pressure absolutely is going to be on Wolves. Think back to yesterday and how much Fnatic on their attack side were ending B and see whether they've adjusted that. Wolves have got a lot on their plate here.
Indeed they do. All right, Toronto, can the Wolves bounce back and send this one to a map 4? Let's send it back over to your casters. Here's Pansy and Hypoc yet again.
Pansy and Pypok.
It's not the best combination to names, GB, but we'll move on swiftly because this might be a bit of a swift game. We are already seeing this teeing up for Fnatic to close this out early.
Yeah, and I think Sideshow's hit the nail on the head here. This is almost feeling like home
Chalo bhai,
territory.
Lotus.
I was talking about this veto.
कल बहुत गलतियां की थी वैसे Fnatic ने Lotus
for
में पता है
Fnatic, and I think we've already got
देखते हैं आज कैसे खेलते हैं
2 of
वैसे तो
those
बहुत अच्छा
conditions
गेम खेलते हैं
fulfilled. Tall order here for Wolves to bounce back and channel
Toxins going up.
into that recovery factor, become bloodthirsty once more.
Because I need to see that killer instinct, Mike. I need to see Wolves kind of reminding themselves they're the team that took down the likes of Gen G, that made Aeron pay attention. Dangerous together. Because right now, Fnatic looks singular in approach. They're looking at that next game. They're not even looking at you right now. That grand final. Now getting closer in the mind. One more map stands between them and it could be here. Certainly a solid map for them. And they're making Wolves do the walk around this map.
And it was a deal with this utility behind the orb on C, though. I think on the back of that, Wolves commit a second player. Actually, with spike positioned over towards Rubble, both have got to be careful. There are still 3 members of Wolf ready to pounce on this contact.
But it's not clean.
Oh, by Chronicles.
And Chronicle just swiftly clearing up 2. And now it's the dash to the site, isn't it? Superfat BB trying to keep his head down, trying to maintain his calm, but already going to be found by the Prowler. Caught by the seas. The paint shell finds it, or it's Chronicle. Oh God, Chron's on for an absolute tear. 10 seconds for the plants down, and Crashy's just keeping them at bay. Nice fight back. Still maybe some hope with them yet. But Alpha! Just the full stop to that sentence, and the first game by Fnatic.
Running through the protocols.
Lag kar rahi hai bhai. Confidence lag.
It doesn't feel as heavy now, does it?
Yeah, and it's rough as well. You almost hope
Fnatic are feeling it, bro.
Defy the odds here on the defensive side. He would have loved to be in a position where
good job.
They could attack and potentially put themselves in a position to dictate the tempo. Again, another thing touched on by the desk, they really need to disrupt this freedom that Fnatic have had. Necessarily the score lines, but in terms of the macro game, in terms of the information, Boaster, not the flashiest of players, but he thrives in the mid-round. The puppet master for Fnatic. A wide open C site for the taking here.
In reality, it's 3 weapons they want to be keeping, and Alpha let off the leash a little. Have fun. Have a wander. Do some damage, and he's already done that. Now he's going to be able to note the players. See how hungry they are. The scent of blood, sure, but to be able to close down that kill is something different. Alpha is buying time. All of this is precious seconds. Wolves would love to do some damage here. But he's positioned well. Does get handled. Brilliant. The next steps look near on impossible at this point.
Yeah, only an upgrade to a Sheriff. And at that point, Fnatic now feel as if they know the weaker side of this Boaster. Beautiful adjustment here to
Good shot.
The position's going to mitigate any of that further risk from developing. Even actually a swap out here. Kayak happy to go forward, try and find some progress. Like sort of denying that. And the death goes through, an extra orb short. But rifles maintained here for Fnatic.
And I just need Wolves to now start firing back, right? These guys were gunners. They have been this whole way through. And a couple of kills to get yourself feeling comfortable could be key in this. They can't let that scoreline slip away from them again.
Never give me Marshall!
Doesn't like a Marshall.
No.
Noted. Noted.
It's the wrong type of scope for him. Speaking of scopes, Alpha.
Alpha chamber.
Early operator
Okay.
purchase. You see here, Boaster lining up. A little bit of damage conceded. That will certainly act as a deterrent, sorry, for Wolves. In terms of setting anything early outside A.
Alpha on that operator.
3-0 might be.
Exchange of space on this. Mound currently with the Wolf side. Rubble slowly being put back together by Fnatic. Steady stuff here.
Smoke going up. Could indicate, actually. Very early push in here. I mean, looking well invested. Juicy,
nice.
though. Moves the tip of the spear. Kayak will fall.
A couple more of those could certainly help matters, and if Boaster gets a little bit unsteady with that spike in hand, it could have been dangerous. For now, though, they sit back. They're not overextending yet. Maybe fancying their odds here, but Boaster, vigilant. Oh, handled! That's a shot, that's 2. Well, a little sketchy as well, picking that spike back up. 30 seconds, and Fnatic aren't finding that springboard forward. Looking for this in the bonus here for them. And that's a lovely flank. Dreamy stuff. Now Chronicle handle. There it is. Finally looking alive. They need a few more of those for me to be believing. But I'm willing to watch that.
So did they get the operator back in hand? I'm not sure exactly of where it fell.
He was down by the door, but...
Yeah, I guess, yeah, couldn't get over there quick enough.
One enemy remaining.
बहुत दूर लग रहा था लैम्बॉट इसको.
Fnatic will come back in. It's only really Alpha and Boaster to struggle. Piece together a full purchase. Shields across the board. Mysore now. Boaster's Odin. Try and make use of it here. I think initially, yeah, that's going to act as...
Bring them down.
Sketchy for that one.
Bless
Be
me.
careful, they do have that rubble side of the map, so they're safe in that regard. You're gonna look at Con trying to handle maybe that push-up eventually as well. Juicy's
पैसे नहीं हैं इन पे.
peeking. Not alone
Fnatic पे.
either, Lysol
इस
not
मैच.
too far away, but Con's
इस राउंड के
the
बाद.
backbone, right? The spine of this squad. But Spring's done well playing Alpha. Very diligent on that jump peak, but in the meantime, you can see the battle kind of breaking out throughout the map. Individual moments now, and the time.
Oh, by timing हो गई.
Good for one, but couldn't get the follow-up.
And they know the Odin's close as well.
That's huge from Lysol. That controls half of this map. Now down on Kayak and Boaster. New young gun.
Who is doing exceptionally well.
Still with an opportunity to make some play happen here.
Actually getting towards one of the rifles here. Boaster going to come back through.
Nice.
30 seconds left.
Isolated Boaster. Got to find this kill, and he does.
Almost whip कर गया भाई Boaster.
On this side of the map has been good, but Mound's been taken over.
So we've got Paranoia to work with both
Oh,
CFABB and Lysol stacked up. Could make this work. Smokes himself off.
Show me something here, Boaster. He's given himself a 1v1 here. But the angle, just a little too deep. See that BD. Showing him how it's done there.
Sure नहीं था कि वो लोग ऊपर आ जाएंगे.
So key. These are such key rounds for Wolves. So necessary as a reminder of who they are and how they got here. Confidence can slowly be rekindled. Pressure put back to Fnatic.
Tie things up 2-2 early on. And already Wolves showing
लंबी लीड नहीं लेनी थी.
to proceed forward, continue fighting. Pressuring the extremity here. Again, broken purchase, but will reset Fnatic. Kayak does have the showstopper. There's actually going to be some investment around this as well. And tempered though.
Can I get a drop?
Protecting round 6. A bit of a pace change potentially.
Oh yeah, very pacey. Kayak just straight through. Gives them access to that B site. Both there as well, kind of propping up the control. Still have Juicy's ult to bank on if they need it. But they have Kayaks on the other side, so a little bit scary this round. Making mountains out of molehills,
Yeah, I mean,
really.
these choke points are just so deadly to have come up against the showstopper. Kayak can find the heavier side of the stack here, but the paranoia is huge.
But no one there to work off it. Slowed down, denied by the smoke. The paranoia was perfect, but no one there to try and gap close. Boaster tested again. They've got to find a way back in, Mike. They're running out of time. That's going to help matters, but it's going to surely be traded. It is. Juicy dives in, couldn't get it. And now Fnatic making a stand.
Oh भाई, क्या तेजी से रीटेक किया उन्होंने यार. First time in the lead.
Juicy thrown in as the bait. Lamb to the slaughter. Actually, the trades come through fast enough. The Fnatic almost swept.
यही चाहिए था, यही trade game चाहिए था.
Oh, that is
Didn't quite catch that one going down, but so Alpha looking a little frustrated with the outcome here.
One enemy remaining.
also very early timeout here for Fnatic.
Yeah.
Very early.
Not necessarily any fumbles just yet. It's Wolves showing grit and determination once more. Find themselves, I mean, first time actually in the series, around to the good.
How mad is that to say? This is the first time they've been up in rounds. And again, also in this moment, it takes the wind a little out of the Wolves' sails, right? Slow it down a bit. Don't let that momentum build too massively. Keep them calm. The 3 back-to-back is everything. First time doing this sort of damage. Isor's been great. Juicy as well, looking sharper now. Starting to lock in a bit here. Ult's not too far away. YU close by with his. On the other side, the cycle starting to hit as well for Fnatic. Like Milan was mostly leading that conversation. Let's look at what the adjustments are now coming out from Fnatic. As said, this would be deemed as home territory for them. They can find some comfort on it.
Home territory, but uncharted in terms of the only real anomaly being that week 5 loss to Heretics domestically. It's been the one blip in terms of Lotus for Fnatic. Oh, that's early paranoia.
Combo मार रहे हैं.
To negate a lot of that. A ton of utility drawn out.
Main utilities तो गई.
YU with the operator.
This is sketchy.
On the way back in here.
Super sketchy. With bated breath, we wait, and now they strike. It's great from Juicy again. The third just out of its reach. One just gets around the corner. Looked like Spring wanted to really close down on that, but they haven't given up the rest of the match.
और C पे ऑफ
It
लगी है.
still has its players, right? It still has YU here. That operator, I don't think noted yet.
No, they definitely don't know about this just yet. And you talk about 2-for-2 trade probably suiting the defenders in this regard, but
Oh, भाई.
Nasty little corner from Sufat BB to play from. He's got help here. He's not alone. Now that operator rattles off the shot. Crashy's trying to work forward, disrespecting it. And now the cross is next on the cards. Forced away by the Prowler. Support not there yet. YU on an island. He's got to be good for it. A gift given. A plant in play.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Hold on, Chronicle goal.
Oh, भाई.
Jumping down on this.
क्या बात है यार?
Willing to relent just yet.
क्या उसने positioning की है?
And now 2 to the good. Big ultimate drawn out here in terms of the pit from Chronicle. It's just a snake bite from Spring that hands onto Crashies.
2 round की lead भाई.
Set up beautiful here from Wolves. Cycling the operator across now. It's going to be Juicy taking the reins. Might even look to try and find something outside B. That's it. Got to find an answer to this rumble control. They've struggled to really stabilize some of these early rounds. A couple of Guardians here, so Purchase definitely packing a punch. And then you see the Odin and the operator for Wolves.
Oh!
You don't see that very often.
No, you don't, but Alpha will take that every day of the week. Big weapon found, though.
Big weapon recover, bro.
Could be devastating. Eyes drawn towards Spring. Lysor on the swing. It's beautiful between the Wolves. Fighting together as a pack.
यही तो लैग कर रही थी टीम अभी तक कि साथ में नहीं खेलते.
To get away.
Oh, it's huge. I'm not caught on the cross. Alpha dodging IRL for that.
Alpha का face देखो भाई.
But the obstacle course is in play.
Look at Chronicle though, he's wrapped B. He's all the way behind this. Lockdown here for Alpha as well.
Devastating position.
Oh my.
Beyond for this one, it's lovely on one. Even gonna see the second here, he knows it now. Spring under the gun. Kron not gonna outstay his welcome. He plays it well.
Alpha on the world tour, all the way back over to A site. We'll find the plant now. Spring finds himself in a 1v2.
They made something of nothing here. To do this, it's incredibly hard. And Chronicle is playing this map very nicely. This timing though.
Ooh.
He's trying to clear deeper for Kron, but we can see where he
is. Spam more.
Spring, lucky to be living. The trigger stuck on the turret. Oh my god, hold on. But Kron's still here. The safest pair of hands, surely. And 5 HP ain't much to write home about. Oh, just stunning from Chronicle. MasterCard thrifty and a master at work. He played them just to perfection.
Patience के साथ खेला भाई.
Decision to come back across. Try and
Big kill था भाई ये.
That's a crucial kill that YU almost looks set up for. Just caught off guard by the stinger up close. Beautifully done.
तो अच्छा खेल रही थी यार.
A response found here from Fnatic after 4 in succession. 4 ultimates now, you just heard it. Everyone but Juicy on the side of Wolves. Lockdown and a nightfall for Fnatic.
Oh, spam did you?
Ahead of that Kayak.
Nice.
Caught off guard, seemingly. No, that was a bit of a safety net for him, but
Didn't feel like Wolves were actively playing this B site all that much, banking on the utility. Nice.
big headshot.
एक और.
Big damage.
Oh, भाई Boston.
So yeah, comes away from that.
Alpha low level HP.
Healthier than it almost looked on the X-ray.
Alpha's lucky here though.
Somebody out.
Still standing on 10, but not an easy predicament to be in.
Despite not committed, so even down to 38 seconds on the clock, Fnatic looking for another pick. YU. Very deep position though.
भाई बहुत slow खेलती है भाई Lotus में.
Just shouldering to the turret and the nano.
Oh, YU's in trouble though.
ये Lotus में बहुत slow खेलती है फिर वो time barrier हो जाता है.
All going to come down, clears through. There's nothing towards B. They now know. Good timing on the lockdown. Let's see if they've got everything to handle this for Fnatic. You can already see the Prowler coming in. That's going to connect as well. Time now. Counter. Lockdown on top. Plants in. I'm pretty sure one's going to be detained at bare minimum here. Why are you trying to do the damage on the way out? It's going to be both being caught, but the lockdown in place still. This is dangerous.
There's
What do
3
they have?
detained.
What do they have to deal with it? And 9 down, baby. Fnatic clearing house. Sufat BD and Lightsaw just far away from this, so hard to be able to deny any part of it, but still holding on. Sufat BD's position is ready.
Oh!
He still does it. Down to the 1. Crashies remaining. Nice moves here though. And Crashies might be outdone. Oh no, no, no. Crashies so calm. Keeps his cool.
Oh भाई.
Beautiful from him. The awful dodger getting the defuse.
भाई diffuse करे उनकी tease कर रहा है भाई वो बंदा.
Crashies unable to pin him down.
Nice bro.
And a miracle, you never see this sort of post plant fall apart for Fnatic. 3 detained. I mean, Fnatic played the timing of the lockdown perfectly. You almost see them toying with the idea of giving one person up to YU.
Momentum दे दिया भाई.
Get another couple of seconds. And it could have gone either way.
Oh yeah.
But the
क्या बात है यार.
once more
तगड़ा खेल रही है भाई टीम.
delivering a round victory, a crucial round victory to break the funds.
Oh nice यार. Nice first play.
Okay, Wolves starting to heat up now. That is a sort of round that gives you confidence too, right?
जो भाई.
Adrenaline pumping, but they've got to stay cool under this kayak closing in now. He knows that Lysol was nearby. Spring in the meantime just got Crashies down. Lysol checks back.
अरे वाह यार check कर दिया तूने.
It all lines up here.
क्या बात है.
From what was a drought of rounds in the first 2, to Wolves looking deadly.
This was the Wolves we were missing, bro.
Alpha's found space to play into. Again, Sheriff in hand. Probably doesn't feel too confident to dig any deeper. Spring's going to be the one to potentially feel this out.
क्या बात है यार.
Down on top now, Boaster left in the clutch. A 1v5 Arston.
Imagine the dance he'd be doing after this one. Bloody hell, not going to be. Wolves. Mike, we actually might have a game here.
Step by step, finding a response here on map 3 could be crucial. I've already seen a timeout from Fnatic. Certainly seen an adjustment, but the retakes looking very comfortable for Wolves. Able to weather the storm here on Lotus. Lysol's in at 10 and 5.
दिखा नहीं रहे ना.
Still ultimates available here. Juicy, Showstopper, Spring with the pit. It's on the side of Fnatic. Maybe hoping to see Kayak and Chronicle find a little success get theirs online. Round 10 now. There's not many chances left in this first half.
Now in a tempo change, it looks like we're about that 1 minute mark, 1:20, sorry, excuse me. And Fnatic looking like they want to head towards that C-site early here. Yeah, Paranoia's already gone in. So pace change on this one, flank on the way, kayaking on the site. Still Spring, dealt with, deleted, Boaster. To make sure this is as secure as possible. Uh-oh, Kron. Oh my word, he's surrounded. He's revealed, he looks dead, and buried he is! Juicy.
Leaving nothing to chance.
Yep.
Risk लेने का ही
No
नहीं.
punches now. Alpha waiting for the pressure to come back in here. Clean with it. Falls away, does his job. Player standing.
Oh!
Finding everything they need though. Crashies. 2 on the round for him. Lysol finds a response.
There it is.
Crisp headshot.
There it is. You don't
Fnatic.
get easy games against Fnatic, even if you are leading. Still
मौका दिया है, इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि तुम कुछ जीतने देगी.
G2 only team to prevent Fnatic from actually having the advantage in the first half of Lotus, so Wolves already tracking ahead of that potential here. Well, I mean, still
अरे
potential
यार ये
though,
दो वहाँ पे
a
हो
little
गए.
further.
Standing.
So a 2-round advantage. Fnatic back on, I guess, a better purchase than we have seen in some of these rounds. Actually, Wolves outside. See sight here, Juicy. He's better. He's best in
Oh!
the back.
That is a beautiful shot from him. The fact that Alpha keeps his life is surprising as well, down on 10 HP. And then look at the space Spring wants to take. He's still walking up. Alpha sitting deeper, waiting.
Oh!
But Spring so good. Punishing that and giving Wolves the man advantage.
3v4 now for Fnatic. Try and find success today. Lysol shut down.
क्या clean headshot दिया बे.
Actually, one away from they want to cycle across and maybe give him the plant. Could be huge here to try and convert.
There it is. Oh, no.
Yeah, I thought maybe.
एकदम ही safe खेलना चाह रहे हैं.
Players deep up into heaven here, maybe on the back of Crashy's ultimate.
It's going to be spotted out though by the Prowler. You're waiting for the next layers of utility to be committed towards this. You don't take this lightly. Chronicle trying to stand guard. Going to make it hard work for them to work through this. They might have to be forced away. You
snake
can't
bite.
get through here.
It will definitely slow things down on the retake. Elsewhere, jump spot from Crashy, spot out YU, so all the information playing into Fnatic's hands. Crashy's found one, he's knocked down.
Oh, it's just lovely from Crashies.
Smooth.
Slicing through walls, and I liked what Chronicle was doing as well, almost forcing them into that pathing.
Plenty of options here for Fnatic, like I said, on the back of Crashy's ultimate potentially. Wolves, these early wins, but post up. Always a threat in the mid-round if there's bodies still for Fnatic. Very consistent in turning the tides in their favour. Now just 1 round behind, and Wolves on an ugly purchase here in round 12.
I guess Lysol really is the one to watch, isn't he?
Juicy's here so early on though.
That's true. And you're going to have the Viper spit on the other side of the map, so almost trying to encourage play elsewhere. Hard to disrespect it, but Juicy might be on the money. He is! And no one there to trade that. Now obviously they don't know it. They don't know how much freedom they had on it. Quick upgrade, yeah, lovely. Dream come true for Wolves, but can they reset?
The confirmation of a second player here with the Prowler, but Paranoia sent through. Don't amount to too much. Wolves, they would peel away.
अरे यार वो लोग साले दे देते हैं. Wolves ना
Showstopper and the TP here.
मौका दे ही देते हैं.
Lysol actually with a quick check of a TP of his own. Wolves look as if they're confident in Reed here, and rightfully so.
Boombot gives Crashies the corner. That's enough. And now Alpha finding the next layer to this again. That purchase was going to be weak at the best of times, but Fnatic finding their way forward and finding their footing here. Tufat, BB and Spring difficult to try and do anything with. It looks like this one is going to be tied up all even here. Alpha timing on the smoke drop there. Oh, this is dangerous, but it's fine. Bullets to the back to bring it back to 6 apiece. Fnatic not down and not out. Wolves showing signs of life.
6 all over.
Fnatic, again, not familiar to playing from behind on Lotus. Able to course correct here at the end. Come out even pegging here.
Literally वही crashes बहुत अच्छा खेल रहे हैं. एनए का है. यूरोप रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है EMEA.
Before we get there, we do have a treat with Vansili standing by with TCK10. We're going to head over there right about now.
Toronto, it is my honor to say that Cloud9 finally has international presence at a Valorant event. I'm joined by none other than TCK, content creator for Cloud9. TCK, how's it going? An honor to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've been loving Toronto. I've been loving the city. I've been loving the food. I've eaten poutine 3 times already, and I love it. So yeah, it's really great to have all those beautiful audience here talking about Valorant and living it. Yeah.
I hate that you eat 3 poutines and it goes into your muscles, and me, it just goes into my gut. But I understand as well that you know, you're a big-time streamer in Brazil. But for those that are tuning in here from Toronto and also from around the world, talk to us about your stream. What can we see when we actually watch your stream?
Okay, so crazy cosplays, maybe Viper cosplays, Reina cosplays, and I've been also playing on Radiant. It's been a time now. Actually, I was the first guy who told Aspas to try Neon. You know, he was only playing Jet, so yeah, time 1, Brazilian server, lot of time.
And now you're also co-streaming with Saucy so far in the booth. How's the chat been going? Who are they going for in this game?
We're going for Fnatic. I mean, it's really nice to see them playing. We were kind of cheering for Wolves because of Still Fat Baby. They are all really good energy. But we're cheering for Fnatic. I think they're winning. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Like, I would be a fan of Saucy, just seeing him play, and now being friends with him and talking everything about Valorant during co-stream. It's been really nice.
That's awesome. You just talked about Sufa Baby. He likes to show his muscles. Also, Boaster likes to show his muscles. So TCK, show me your muscles one more time as they're going to toss this back to the game.
Damn, it's just like you, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, I really like that jersey, but I'm not sure. Carrying a little holiday weight.
And just checking in on the Coinbase Econ report. I mean, it's a much more even affair from the previous match.
Yeah, closely contested, obviously. No team really able to establish themselves under that 4-round string along the way, but again, it was back and forth, it was trades, it was coming down to, you know, 1 or 2 players left standing, so financially, necessarily that snowball effect taking hold here. I guess looking forwards now, even affair, and yes, you're 2 maps down already, but sort of at the half-time, it's a much more comfortable position for Wolves to find themselves in. Not necessarily pinning all hopes and dreams to a pistol and further conversions. See really what they can do with that.
Where are you? Wolves now on that attacking side. Sometimes been their strength throughout this.
Just as well, on Lotus, Wolves have showed us the slowest formation of this default. They're not Fnatic have really come away and I guess respect that enough to come up with some sort of game plan to address. Fnatic never usually wants to, I guess, push all in to the early round. We've already seen so far on Icebox and Split what they're capable of in the retake. It really is the cornerstone.
As it stands, though, one singular turret is holding the entirety of the C site, and it's doing a fantastic job. Fnatic have all the players in the right places.
I think probably seeing that poison orb invested. Juicy core!
Oh, the C's was so sick! And the follow-up as well, Kayak's there! It's a shutout! The only success why you with a bit of util? Oh man, this has been a complete and utter shutdown. Fnatic so prepared.
You can see still eyes trained towards B main. 7 seconds on a smoke. He's Caught a sound cue here from Boaster. Ooh. But again, look at the spike. Look what he has to do. He has to overcome, even regain possession of it.
10 seconds left.
I would like the
और भी बंदे भाई
Yeah, it's going to be a glimmer of
मैंने
hope.
तो एक देखा ही नहीं
Quickly
क्रैशेस नीचे
extinguished
1 HP में मेरे को लगा मर चुका है
Start strong in this second now.
But looking like he's straight on a scope here. It's rough for Juicy.
अटक गया यार वो
He's got the momentum here from the satchels, but tethered, restricted in his movement.
अल्फा मिडलाइट एक को तो लेके मरूंगा मैं
Almost.
From Fnatic, and maintaining control of the spike, it's almost unrecoverable there, regardless of the outcome.
Can't let this tempo wane, really, though. If you're Wolves, you've got to keep up the pressure.
Oh,
oh Juicy 1 HP
unconfirmed, but that's a 15 HP. Costly retrieval of the orb.
Turret down.
Again, slow and steady. We know how Wolves like to play this. Probably the most tempered of their attacking sides. Just the classics. Not even a sheriff to write home about. So to try and divide and conquer now would be impressive. But Alpha on duty, on guard.
I saw making himself extremely skinny.
Oh dear, well.
Why are you not so much?
No, oh dear. Guys, don't feed Alpha, please don't feed Alpha. Out of all the players, don't let him have a round like, oh God, please! Somebody stop him! No!
Oh, knife कर गया
Yeah, you're allowed to
Take
stand
a
up for that
bow!
one.
Take a bow for that one! Oh, ridiculous scenes here on the anti-eco.
Oh
on the
भाई
site.
नाइफ ही कर गया भाई एस ले गया भाई एस वो भी नाइफ से कर गया यार
The stars align about now. And a nod of respect from the other side of the stage as well.
Yeah, what are you meant to do about that one? Apart from smile and wave, right? 6 to 8, it's timeout time.
Stuff it,
Straight
baby.
away. And that better be a damn good timeout too.
I mean, few situations where we see Wolves with both timeouts in the second half, actually feeling pretty confident about the game plan in the first, but Fade now just wants a check-in. A temperature check almost. Conceded the first two, so this buy round crucial for Wolves. And this could be the home stretch for Fnatic, so all things considered, got to step up to the plate once more here.
And that's the thing, isn't it, Mike? You're right, that's the point. That this next round feels like it's kind of the one that either opens up opportunities for Wolves, and they can maybe build,
the door.
or it closes the door. And the issue is they don't have other maps to play with now. There's no more other halves. There's no more building it back.
And I hate to be ever the pessimist, but
well,
the home stretch of this veto as well, it's not necessarily like, right, guys, let's get through Lotus.
We can
breathe a sigh of relief. So lots to consider here.
Even he has a girlfriend.
Fnatic now looking to turn up the heat a little bit. Alpha, great progress towards the lockdown.
सब मोम आया भाई
After a Cobra round.
बढ़िया पढ़ाई लिखाई में ध्यान दो
One of the flashiest Cobras we've seen in recent times. Like it was a decent connection on that.
Well, they've made it pretty far already. Unscathed, mostly. Big Spring taking a touch of damage, but that's barely it. I'm starting to feel that maybe they've crept a bit closer. Crashes wants to check. And they're ready to swing on this if they do get confirmation. Look how many players behind. Paranoia is ready. They've sprung the trap, and look at the info. It's perfect. But somehow, Juicy and Spring are the ones to come out on top there. I don't know how the hell that happened, but that is out as
अरे गजब भाई, अरे गजब भाई.
Kron's still here. Spots out one, surely. That swing from the smoke, inevitable it is.
Decisive from Spring.
Beautiful.
भाई टाइम आउट बड़ा काम आ गया इनके.
HP. I'm not a believer.
No?
No.
Alpha doesn't seem to be either.
Off he goes.
One away from the lockdown. Doesn't want to chance it. Looking at the funds here. Kayak 2,900, so a chance to potentially get an operator here if it lines up.
Still just don't know how it started off in favour to Wolves there, Mike, because it felt like Fnatic kind of felt that, okay, maybe they've progressed deep enough, we want to get that haunt going, we want to get the paranoia on that. I'd love to see that again, kind of from the side of Wolves almost in a way, to see how that kind of unfolded, and they somehow got away with it. Now again, Juicy then getting to sight, diffing down Kayak, fair play. It's just that start, because it felt like Fnatic had the right idea, so I really want to pay attention to this one again. Okay, just close enough by, and they just power forward, they speed up on it. Nice reaction, actually.
अबे गन लेट आई भाई उसके हाथ में, उसके बाद भी मार दिया उसने.
Tried to set up. Even here, might just seem like garbage time in terms of that kill there, but Spring not allowing any further threat to develop.
Yeah.
So Wolves find an early response, keep it within touching distance. And the purchase still there for Fnatic.
Oh भाई good shot.
Entry found for Wolves. And a second
Oh भाई.
down once more.
Comeback हो रहा है क्या guys?
Isn't over yet. Chronicle, Boaster, and Alpha have a decision to make. How much of a stand do we want to take here? It's difficult to make work with the buy that they have, but yeah, no way. Juicy, just running rings around Boaster in that one.
Oh भाई time.
Oh, he's going for this.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's Boaster reining him back in.
Look, the Eco Cobra can work two ways. The confidence sky high, but then sometimes you do want to go for a 2v4. And it's sketchy with the money, right? We're right on the ropes for Fnatic. Keeping these two weapons would be fantastic for them. For now, slowly does it. The Wolves starting to find a bit of a rhythm. Scoreline looking likely to be even. Kron trying to punish maybe some of his exits. He's gone down.
Yeah, I think, in this situation, he's looking for the upgrade from the Guardian. So the poison fruit lying ahead of him. Alpha standing his ground. A little bit of damage conceded. Force a shield repurchase, the bare minimum.
8
You're
to
right,
8.
tied up.
भाई कितना प्यारा हेडशॉट दिया यार.
Just that glimpse went up. Bloody hell.
I mean, Spring had given up on that spray.
Yeah.
Found it on the final bullet.
Let's go, boy. Well play, well play.
Okay.
Wolves. Feeling as if they've maybe found themselves a...
Yeah, a little something. To not be affected by the kind of Odin spam, to still be able to scale up, is quite impressive, honestly, because a lot of teams struggle with that.
But again, looking to try and explore these early engagements towards A site. Now Fnatic playing a little deeper, almost actually with the placement of utility from Alpha, reading a pivot towards B this time around.
Info gather हो गई अब. चुपचाप.
Chance here to tuck 3 members into site.
घूम लो. Nice. निकल लो.
Wolves not getting what they want this time around in terms of a free entry.
Yeah, a lot of bodies here. That's a little bit dangerous now. Juicy's trying to be toyed with, but he's so calm. Good control though from Alpha and crashes on the spacing on the swing. Now it's down to Spring trying to pick up some of those pieces. Because they actually haven't got the weapon upgrades. I thought they might have time on that, but they don't.
अरे भैया निकल जाते यार.
Feeling its way around this map here.
तुम्हें नहीं करना चाहिए था अभी commit.
Gonna relay that information. It might even
दिक्कत हो जाएगी नहीं तो.
in spawn
Here's
here.
pinged though. Yeah, really. Heads up. Don't know what gave it away, but pinged out on the minimap.
Now they know with Spring's position, he was going to be the late round piece here. Chronicle's going to be the one gifted the rifle. Still, the threat of one member of Fnatic staying put here, but plant will come through. 10 seconds left, so just in time to establish themselves in a post.
Yeah, but that paranoia is scary. So, and you've been throwing crashes as well with that horn, that sees.
A second upgrade here. This is huge.
It really is. How'd you win this one?
Third upgrade is also there. Tino guns.
To left.
The Chronicles waiting.
And now that's 2, maybe 3 positions given away though. They've got to know now where they're coming from. But does it make any difference? Is Spring trying to be cool under pressure? Down on 1 HP, but he's lost to Fat Baby. This is down on Spring in a 1v3. Time is ticking.
Oh!
Wait.
Does he know? Does he know?
Wait.
Oh my!
When Fnatic needed him, he plays it just right.
The penny drops here for Spring. For both
Spring yaar, साथ में pick ले.
Beautiful recovery here. I mean, Wolves did everything right, even with a few hiccups along the way.
अरे यार.
Lining up the 2 kills there.
Spray मार देता ना.
That's the round we needed, boys. Nice.
Channeling that clutch factor.
And that unlocks the operator. Has got that ult ready again. Still there for Alpha. Crashy's only 1 away. Couple of key pieces. Kayak 1 off his ult as well. Deep line taken by Boaster. Kayak clearing through that B main position. Prowler comes in. Boaster backs away here.
Potentially a pinch here, and actually Showstopper popped really early. Potentially catch the front lines of Fnatic, but Spring somehow finds the back of Crash.
Oh my.
Yeah, but Kayak isn't letting that go unanswered. Punishing Juicy on the other side. Spring's lurks, man.
Good Spring, good.
About them.
खाली कर दिया उसने. ये आ जाओ.
Fantastic.
ये जाओ, खाली कर दिए. खाली कर देंगे.
Do they want that?
Spring literally did it. खाली.
Could potentially be in a great position as the checkmate endgame. There's still danger on this plant. Still
Oh my.
Spring's having a round.
Yes, ले ले भाई.
Chronicle and Boaster's options dwindle to near on 0 now.
Chronicle actually picking up the operator here, going to try and tuck away from it, but Boaster walks into see Fat BB. Now the operator, a chance for him to be overwhelmed. He would get away from the reveal, but
9-1 हो गया.
On the hunt. Shut down here, Chronicle. Find a consolation.
Look at the Wolves hunting this one down though. Pretty close by here. Kron focused.
Oh!
They find him. Operator gone. Back will even now.
No. Oh, neither team, sorry. Going to find an opportunity to stabilise here in the second half. Exchange back and forth now will draw out a timeout from Fnatic.
Fnatic timeout.
Decent position in terms of the ultimates here. Even more so if potentially Chronicle can get his online. And looking towards potentially round 20 in terms of any game plan adjustment, but
भाई बहुत टफ कर दिया भाई बोल्ट ने ये. मतलब इतना गंदा खेलने के बाद पिछला मैप ये वाला भी अच्छा खेल रहे हैं. Nice.
Spring's ultimate, but again have a big buffer here.
And again, it's great to see. You know, we've been kind of talking about Spring's ability to find that great timing on the lurks and that pressure that he's able to bring. Haven't seen it being like the kind of focal point, but it's been something I've been waiting to see if it comes into effect. And here it was just fantastic. It felt like Crash was completely unawares of that possibility, that he was going to be waiting around that side of the map. Again, first time we've really seen pressure towards that C side, that kind of, you know, opposite swing of the pendulum. So, but now Fnatic are going to have to suffer through this round, right? At most you're going to get a sheriff, or probably not even that at this point. Why would you? Beyond that,
हर एक स्टेट में अपना क्रिकेट लीग चालू कर दी. तमिलनाडु प्रीमियर लीग चलता था, महाराष्ट्र प्रीमियर लीग चल रहा है अभी, और मध्य प्रदेश प्रीमियर लीग भी हो रहा है.
The showstopper here though for Kayak. There's a couple of tools available that Fnatic can maybe find a 1-for-1. Weaken the numbers.
क्या Wolves comeback कर पाएगी? Spring doing his work very well today. Spring has really stepped up. Good one.
Yeah, that was that kind of like X factor that maybe could have come in. Owl are not going to catch, so they may not be aware that there's more bodies behind this. There's still 2 other players here, but the C is going to contain. And why you
nice.
catch out for the push up.
Lurk भी निकाल दिया.
It is only against those pistols.
Booster भी 1 HP कर दिया और ये गया.
I mean, he had to go. Yeah. The luck ran out.
Pick your poison.
Yeah. This is good stuff though from Wolves.
क्या बात है यार Wolves यार.
Keep 5 alive, so bolstering the finances here. In the home stretch of Lotus Chronicle.
तो मैंने सोचा नहीं था लोटस इतना अच्छा खेल जाएगी पता है लास्ट मैच इतना आइस बॉक्स इतना गंदा खेलने के बाद
progress towards the pit just a classic in hand. See a little grin on the face from Chronicle. He knows the inevitable is coming. Why you the one to find it?
Jumping around bro. गार्डन में घूम रहे भाई गार्डन में.
Edging closer and closer to keeping this series alive.
But this was the round the timeout was for. This is the round with ults. This is the round with the buy.
3 अल्टे भाई इन पे. कायक बहुत गंदा खेल रहा है सो.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of got to be clean here from Fnatic.
कायक एकदम से ऐसा हो गया पिछला मैच इतना अच्छा होने के बाद एकदम ही सिर्फ 6 kills पे बैठा है. 15 deaths bro. और इधर स्प्रिंग 23 kills. Extraordinary खेल रहा है सो तो बंदा. Oh.
Finally shutting down Spring.
Yeah, almost calling up his own number, right? That was tailor-made.
3 rounds के बाद
Don't like what you're doing to us here.
Spring मारा पहला. बहुत देर बाद.
Now Wolves left with the 4. Don't have that backline pressure now. Freeze up these rotations too.
Fnatic now can almost adjust towards a top-heavy site execution here. Potentially the back of Alpha. Second guessing the TP, actually near-sighted here, but Kayak found a kill.
How the hell did Kayak get a kill there? I do not know. But cleared out in the end, crashes.
Whoa! Collect!
Lysol? You got a 1v2 though. You got 50 seconds.
He's got the TP.
अरे यार.
A chance to peel away, but not taken.
अरे यार मेरे को पता है Fnatic का इतना डर लगता है ना. भाई वो टीम ने 3-11 से कमबैक किया हुआ है. ठीक है ये वो टीम है.
Full house now though of ults, Mike. They got air.
तो मतलब यहाँ तो फिर भी 10-10 चल रहा है.
We'll have to. I mean, you almost want to see him play into something to maybe ride the pit. Beautiful isolation here. So one time Spring's left on his own, doesn't deal with the reveal. And
अच्छा शॉट मारा भाई जूसी ने Chronicles को. Chronicles को literally आके delete किया उसने.
It's been really the focal point for this early round aggression, and Spring getting himself into, I mean, call it a lurk, but a very early on lurk.
Are they this? Oh my god, they. Ooh, look at
Oh!
through the air. No,
Nice यार.
Takes the space and takes the site. Spike now can trail up as well. TP gets
Entry ले रहा है भाई जूसी भाई मजा आ गया.
Spotted. Juicy now knows these two. Still controlling a lot of space on this site. You're looking at Spring again. A new look on the lurk here. Juicy plays it forward, still going to find him. Kai trying to play it back through, does not get what he needs. And now Lightsaw in the back lines, keeping this one safe. This is perfect at Wolves.
Nice भाई. क्या ही back and throw चल रहा है भाई round. क्या back and throw चल रहा है भाई. Smooth.
Huge advantage. TP burnt up, showstopper invested, doesn't land for Kayak, who struggled here on Lotus
ये kill इतना प्यारा था ना.
to really find his footing. Couple of operator kills here and there, but another 2k from Lysol swings this back in Wolves' favour. And around to the good now. A chance to find themselves map point.
अरे ये वाला एंगल. ये पोस्टर में लिया था लास्ट टाइम कल.
Identifying the amount of bodies behind that util just to isolate Spring. Instantly they pivoted towards that pacey C hit. Now though, seeing the buy broken. Bits and bobs, sheriffs, guardians, stingers, Lysor on duty with Juicy. They do well to deal with the
ये जो है ना
aggression
मतलब
from
trade
Kyle.
game
What's the
मतलब वो
difference
चल
maker?
रहा है
They're
साथ
gonna
में
get to this round, and a lovely patient default from Wolves.
It's back to their trademark approach here. In round 22, Boaster. Curious. Going to dip away though. Only a stinger in hand.
Poison's off.
Again, a kill, maybe two. Fnatic might decide to invest here, but again, don't expect Wolves to give these weapons away.
This is the right read, though. If you're looking at Wolves, they found the weak point. Now you just got to be careful with the weaponry, I guess. There is a couple of threats, but clean with it. I don't think he saw Kron, though. No, he didn't, so he's got to be careful now. Backs away. He's done his job here. Doesn't need to overextend or overstay. You can see what they want. They want to take that weapon away. But Lysor's done what he needed to.
Lysor ने एक और मार दिया था.
From that waterfall side.
2v5 है भाई, easy.
Now, Fnatic.
Easy है भाई, easy.
Boaster and Crash is left to try and pin their hopes on some exits. Don't expect Wolves now to relinquish any of this control. Goes up, does actually tag onto Boaster, I believe. Yeah, you can see here. Oh, you see. We'll find it on the first, but Crash does convert.
I mean, Juicy's one up from the ult now as well. You got a couple of key ones coming online for what could be the slam dunk round. Juicy's on the prowl. He wants this one. Boaster's just trying to keep his head tucked down.
You can see Juicy laughing.
Juicy वैसे तो chase कर रहे हैं भाई छोटे बच्चे की तरह.
Wolves get themselves to 12. Fnatic now have to put up a final stand here on Lotus. He could argue still a slight advantage with his ultimates, but gaps in the utility like
Come back, Marty, भाई बोल दूँ.
Odin in the hands of Boaster.
Match pointed.
Okay.
Almost bait them back into maybe explore towards finding Spring.
Oh god, this is so risky. Boaster! Risk is rewarded. Finds one, but instantly.
Oh भाई.
Eating the goats alive. Chronicle and out for the last two.
2v4 हो गया भाई. भाई, this is how Lotus is played. पता है? Attacking.
They felt what it's like on the other side of things in those first two maps, but now, Alpha, you're gonna dig deep here for me. You show us what you got. No, blown to pieces. Is Kron the last one standing? And Wolves, not done. Yes.
बढ़िया.
13-10 here on Lotus. Wolves once more proof of life.
थोड़ा सा मैं भी खेलता हूँ.
Confidence on display here. Juicy.
थोड़ा सा बंद भी ट्राई करते हैं, ठीक है? जब तक अभी मैच चालू होता है. थोड़ा सा बंद भी खेलते हैं. भाई साहब क्या हो गया भाई, क्या ही विटनेस हो गया यार. इतना अच्छा खेली ना यार वोल्व्स यार, इतना अच्छा लगा दिल से कि भाई कितना अच्छा खेली है वो टीम. इसकी सेटिंग्स फिर हिल गई क्या गेम की, है ना? देखना.
Match found.
भाई थोड़ा ऐसा ना मन कर जाता है फिर खेलने का. मतलब लोटस मैप ही आ गया, अभी हुआ भाई, जस्ट अभी हुआ उसका कांड।
Death match. Warm up.
ये मैंने खड़े लाउड हो रहा है।
You're going to scatter from my stuff. Super easy to pick off.
Fight!
Let's make them dance.
ओ यार रह गया मैच में यो
Nightmare's over. 3 for me.
भाई कहीं से ही मर सकता हूँ, मैं बहुत ही ज्यादा ओपन हूँ। बेट कर देना और यार मैं कर दो अरे मेरा माउस पैड टेलिंग में मेरा माउस पैड खत्म हो गई, मेरा माउस पैड में पड़ा शुरू हुआ। साउंड आया
Got one.
Oh, thank you. भाई मेरा एंकल दुख जाएगा पता है, आई मीन रिस्ट यार, मैं एंकल क्यों बोल रहा हूँ मैं छूट थोड़ा सा ना चलाना पड़ेगा मेरे को। भाई कीबोर्ड मेरा खराब हो गया यार। कीबोर्ड हाँ बेंचो घर बना लेना। भाई कीबोर्ड मेरा रिस्पॉन्स लेट कर रहा है।
Get out of here. Next. See ya. One down.
Sometimes पता है skin without skin थोड़ा सा वो लग जाता है मेरे को। ये ले बेंचो।
10 kills remaining.
Sky's out. Next.
अरे और ये 40 बेंचो 102।
5 kills remaining.
Woo! Boom.
अरे यार इतनी बेंचो। अरे यार बेंचो भी हमारा आज लगता है एंगल भाई ये क्या एंगल लेके बैठ रही है लौड़ी। ले आजा बैठ ले।
Got him.
One minute remaining.
Get out of here.
One kill remaining.
मिस कर गया बेंचो मुझसे। अरे लोग चले गए ना, ऐसे फिर मजा नहीं आता पता जब लोग चले जाते हैं।
Next time, número 1.
अच्छा ऐसे लोग चले जाते हैं फिर मजा नहीं आती। एक मिनट चेक करके आया मैं चालू हुआ क्या। अभी नहीं हुआ। एक और खेल लेते वार्म अप कर लो। तो गया वो मुझे जिसका डर था, लैला को लगता हूँ मैं फरेबी, हाँ फरेबी, क्या कहेगी ये है मेरी सारी बातें। तब
Match
वो गाना तो
found.
ऐसे मेरे को एक्चुअली ना वो देता है कोडैक। कोडैक गाने में ऐसी वाइब आ जाती है ना, मुझे बढ़िया।
Death match. Warm up.
No one's gonna give you what you want. Work for it.
Fight.
Watch me. Yep.
I'm Batman. ये मेरी सारी क्या
Sorry, little wind.
Dominating.
Speaking, Oniba. Next.
बस लोगों में जाना। लोगों ने जाना बस चालू कर ही दिया है मेरे ख्याल से। मैंने आ कहा ये मैंने कहा पूरा मैं घूम रहा हूँ, इतना वो हो जाता है कि
10 kills remaining.
भाई ये बंदा सिर्फ कैंप कर रहा है भाई। ये देखो फिर आधी जनता चली गई। इसे क्या मजा आती है? सिर्फ हंट कर रहा है।
There's that.
भाई साहब
5 kills remaining.
Too bad. Sorry, little win.
मेरा हाथ ही उछलता है।
One kill remaining.
I think चालू हो चुका है। हाँ चालू हो गया गाइस। एसएम चालू हो गया भाई और इसने पहला राउंड ले भी चुका है।
Pursuing further.
लाइट बंद कर रहा हूँ।
Reading that this rotation has come through and crashes and Chronicle to maybe try and complement that.
Oh, they're being herded, man. Alpha. Oh my God.
Waiting for the connection on a second.
I thought that second
a
looked
tag,
sharp,
yeah,
but
no headshot.
now they got issues, right? Oh, that's a far fight to be had against every weapon that outdoes his classic at this point. But they're so unwilling to go towards B. You can imagine why, right? You can imagine there's going to be a stack here. You can imagine there's going to be presence here, and there is. YU does very well to thread the needle straight up middle. Dare try and pivot through. It's a risky move. It's a messy bit of Val. But they've actually managed to navigate away from most of the threats. Till now, Kron couldn't land it. They're trying to get that spike away, get it to safety, Sherpa it.
25 सेकंड है अल्फा भी है
Tagged up down to 30 HP but has got himself a guardian now. Retrieved all the way from spawn.
Oh no. Why does this feel like the death of them? 13 seconds, but he passed up towards tree instead.
Oh!
Now Qatar with the TP as well. Big
भाई इसने वो ले रखा है भाई ये बहुत अच्छा खेलता है बंदा चेंबर
Okay, pretty standard, right? Stat down to hell, that's it. They're much beyond that, slow and steady. They walk up. Oh my good God, Alpha. Every step feels deadly. And this is a bit of a problem here, can't be denied. A little bit of room to stack up on though. And now it feels so likely they're down here. Alpha falls even just Kron, and he ain't got it in him.
1 HP था बंदा
Oh, that got so sketchy for just that headhunter.
Ever a threat. But YU, a 3K from him to find success here in the second round. Have to try draw blood. Able to maintain control of this round. Will weaken the purchase here for sure for Wolves.
Let's go, Juicy, Izzo!
Going to be two rifles on the table here for them. One being a Guardian in the hands of Juicy. Fnatic fully flush in terms of their purchase.
Oh bhai, Alpha bro.
Just can't find it.
Mechanically, always a treat. They slow the roll a little now. Maybe looking to try and avoid
Bonus round.
Alpha. Maybe not a bad shout.
Spring and see Fat BB try and take control here of A main, deal with some of the utility on the way in. Paranoia in response here. Actually a ping here on Recon, but no conversion. Kayak forced back 7 HP. Now the Aldrone comes up. Alpha has to get out of the dodge.
Yeah, they're being slippery about
Oh.
this, but Boaster commits to it. Goes down for it too. Gives over the upgrade, but a 2v4 now is difficult. And Alpha looking like he's in control here.
But
Very difficult position.
अल्फा ने 3 किल लेके वही खत्म कर दिया गेम भाई तुम्हारा.
Position on main unaccounted for, really. Yeah, the checkmate in the
Nice
end crashy. Security to be had.
Bro ये ना attacking side वाली map है.
Member of Fnatic
तो
there.
मतलब हमें
Available here.
attacking वाली feel दे.
Early progress from CU Fat BB.
Oh भाई reveal अच्छा हुआ.
Perfect timing on the ping here. Boaster into a position on help. This is even harder for Wolves.
Bring me the hunger, bring me the passion.
Yeah.
Boaster desperately trying to rally the troops here on ascent. Alpha already on that tour de force, so
Alt आ गई भाई पे
try
भाई.
and take control of
Rendezvous
it.
आ चुका है.
How close do you sit on this? That temptation. The confidence.
Oh!
Well, Lysor off the rip. Takes away the big man himself. Opening up the map to possibilities now.
Yeah, plenty
भाई बहुत ज़्यादा mid open हो चुका है.
into a very deep position here as the rest of Wolves head towards short. Potentially an ace split on the cards. Yes, Kayak will have his hands full. Finds the first.
Oh, Kayak.
The spike down in main.
Such control and
Crashes.
crashes in that counter swing on the other side.
ये
Still
ऊपर
taking
aim था.
down.
Aim थोड़ा इधर उधर हो गया crashes
That
का इसका.
spike, Mike, is the biggest problem in Kayak. Looking like a killer right now. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh.
Slow peek here, yeah.
You can't
अरे यार
do
बहुत
that.
गंदी पीक थी.
Why you? What are you meant to do? The obstacle course just to get the spike in your hands. It was near on
गड़बड़.
Yeah, 30 seconds, yeah, plenty of time, sure, but there's just so many question marks here.
Easy भाई, easy.
Shut down any hope. Wow, the young
Easy हो गया यार ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा ही.
confidence builders, just what you need for Kayak to get back online in this series.
Scary though, isn't it? It's like cool, they've taken down Alpha and then suddenly Kayak's got you this in a second. It was almost pre-fire on that swing. Like,
Yeah.
see if
पहला kill लेने के बाद
meant to do.
30 seconds left.
NHK हो गया भाई NHK.
Scary.
Side up
Scary.
here, Wolves reset. Couple of sheriffs to throw in here. Ultimate, sure, but not necessarily an opportunity to invest these off rip. Maybe variables to look towards. Depending on how this progresses, but yeah, up here quick, Lauren.
Yeah, Alpha going to take first contact. Plays in Kayak, who gets it. Look at this. Systematic. Every step the Wolves wanted to take.
भाई बहुत अच्छा है यार.
Oh god, Alpha's hungry too. Anti-ing a little more, but might have to spread the wealth here a bit. They're looking vulnerable, and Alpha's looking confident. Yeah, that's why it looked too easy almost there,
बट
Mike.
जल्दी round खत्म कर दिया.
Every layer considered.
कोई ना 5 round निकाल लो बस. Wolves फिर easy comeback है मैं बता रहा हूँ.
7 and 4. Chance here to potentially find a response. Again, an absolute stranglehold set up here on the anti-eco from Fnatic. No real opportunity. I said Wolves were happy to kind of just walk up and
Nice, boys. Come on, boys.
almost bear the
That's what
brunt
I
of
like to
any
see.
setup in mid.
Both are getting a bit more vocal
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Because it's kind of been very composed until this point. Those first two maps look like, okay, business as usual. We've been here, no worries.
Potentially indicative of, you know, maybe reading the room in terms of that loss on the previous map. And again, I don't think Fnatic are ever a team that walk in and go, yeah, we're going to 3-0 this series. But for sure, he's the leader that could potentially already back on the same hymn sheet. I was just saying here, again, these ultimates are a little awkward to kind of set things up. But certainly late round pieces here as Fnatic, I mean, look, in just a moment at the cushion they've already got behind them.
Yeah, 7K on Boaster.
Boaster down at 7,300, Chronicle at 6,900. Everybody else sitting above 3,500 basically.
But a competitive start to things, as long as Fnatic don't start taking these rounds.
भाई ये मैच कुछ भी होगा, ठीक है? ये फिर मैं अगर जीत ली तो ठीक है कि मेरे को नींद आ रही है, मुझे कल सुबह जल्दी उठ के भी जाना है.
Now let's see what the answer is. You can already see that
Everything depends on this match.
Involved in this.
He's already got the upgrade here, passed across.
जाओ भाई जाओ, यही हूँ मैं.
Going forwards.
भाई Wolves comeback मार गई यार, मेरे को तो लगा लास्ट में हार जाएगी.
On that deeper line, not by much.
पर नींद आ रही है बंद खेल की मेरे को.
Wolves just want to
पेपर एक्स का मैच देखने में मजा आती है.
potentially set a little bit of utility up here in B main. So
ये क्या हो गया?
implying that, yeah, as the pings would confirm, split to try and get behind Alpha. No confirmation just yet. See if Fat BB looking for something with the drones. Won't find anything, but we'll isolate.
नहीं होगा comeback होगा कि नहीं?
Trip here in pizza.
Fnatic ही जीतेगा.
Forced off, nice.
अबे इसको 2 शॉट लग गए.
That's huge, and they want to speed up on this, and rightly so, but Chronicle then plays it ahead. The wall in play, and now they're scattered and down to 3. Crashies then on the back lines.
Connects onto YU.
Plenty of problems now. Being stalled out somewhat on the cross towards the site. Looking for that reveal, not going to get it, but actually there it is.
Oh!
Just safe as houses on the
Chronicles भाई पता नहीं तूने गेम देखा है कि नहीं, बट Chronicles के जो लव्स खेला है ना, आईजीएल डिफ तो है भाई. मेरे को तो ऐसा लग रहा है वो भाई बोस्टर इतना ट्रोल कर रहा है ना, लिटरली मजा आ रही है वो देखने में. वो लोग भी पता है एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, उनको भी पता है कि जीतना मुश्किल है. They are just enjoying right now. भाई अल्फा बहुत तगड़ा चेंबर खेलता है भाई.
Yeah, you're gonna start seeing Wolves really put through their paces here. This is the reinvented Fnatic, right? A new look, but a great shot.
Oh!
Come on, then more of that, and then we're getting.
What a shot, bro!
Okay, someone else having too much fun, were they?
Chronicles तो भाई बहुत तगड़ा खेल रहा है.
Bit of room here. Does he find Boaster? It looks like he might do. And he gap closes. Brilliant from Spring. With the support system in place, it feels like you can't get away from Chronicle. And actually, it is just Alpha now. They've made something out of this. Oh, what a shot! 2 more. He's on for it. Oh! Almost lined up. No way, Alpha! So many weapons. He's just going through the gun game. And he just wants to get out of there, Juicy. What do you do now? Tries to reset the
भाई
bullet to put to the body.
भाई वो ओपी बहुत तगड़ी करता है.
To find. He's trying to do it right.
पिछले में नाइफ किया है.
Land the shot, a miss, and now he knows the upper hand goes to Juicy here, just on that Sheriff, trying to toy with him. Juicy again does it well.
Oh यार. भाई ये टाइम वेस्ट करना, ऐसा टाइम वेस्ट करना. Helps you.
An Alpha made to look human in that 1v1. I mean, you can see just the moment this turns. Alpha, a shake of the head.
भाई collateral था वहाँ पे.
He said so many weapons at his disposal. Yeah, Juicy cool, calm.
Almost collateral मार दिया था उसने almost. I'm here.
Just to remind you, yeah.
And that's why you saw Sifat Bibi being up there, giving him, that encouragement.
एक डाल दिया भाई उसने.
Certainly going to help matters. But for Wolves, it was a hard-fought 4-round. They were only on pistols, Mike. It wasn't much to really work with.
One stinger to bring into
that?
that?
Something like that.
2 sheriffs alongside it. Tip the scales back in their favor. Alpha back on an operator though.
Oh, juicy bro.
Juicy. Making Fnatic's own operator work against them.
That's a confidence builder as well for Juicy. As said, quiet until that last round. Now starting to feel a bit more momentum. Slow build towards A creeping in. But they heard the rattle of the opta. They continue towards that site.
B करेंगे.
Looking for something in mid. We'll catch a glimpse of Crashies.
नहीं कर रहे. A ही करेंगे.
Keep him in check for the time being. Boaster just trying out the paranoid to try and slow things down.
He's got an angle. And he's needs to get a second here. Support on the way, but he falls. Boaster next on the chopping block. Overwhelmed, but still delivering. Great shot towards Spring. Not standing alone, but backs away.
30 seconds on this recon, so retake timing going to be really awkward. And yeah, I think the awareness there from Fnatic that potentially a trap laying in wait from Lysor's utility. The ultimate coming through from Kayak could open things up for Fnatic.
दो जन तो यही हैं.
Seems like they're almost trying to ignore it. Don't know if it's going to know the player off-site. It does. Absolutely does.
Oh my.
Falls foul to the utility in the end. That's devastating. You can see
भाई
Kayak
now. Ice box में खेला है भाई वो literally बंदा.
Removing one. Lysor, 7 bullets. No way. Boast is there. Big plays from the main man. A little bit of a
Kayak का गेम देखना आइस बॉक्स में क्या खेला है वो बंदा.
Very vulnerable, but survived.
Almost friendly fire.
Yeah.
Will cause YU's downfall. A crazy turn of events on short towards Tree. Beautiful from Boaster though.
Oh, that's got to be gutting.
Clean up, precise. Unfortunately, Wolves back to square one in terms of the finances.
That string around, Mike, it's staring at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that blip in the 7th, brilliant. It was exciting.
They've not really chipped away at the finances is the issue. We talked about early on that cushion being there.
Oh, and Kayak spotted this. That's the alarm bells ringing, but it's Boaster left alone.
Let's have the paranoia, so again, you've seen him throw it out time and time again to try and slow things down. Able to TP away this time around, up towards heaven. Safety in numbers here for Fnatic.
5v5 retake है भाई.
Wolves swarm the site.
These post plants, they've been still struggling to hold, right? It's not easy. And the flood coming back through Tree, it looks like. Look at the players getting ready. 3 of them there. Now 4. And that ult is an issue for Wolves. Down on the pistols, down on the secondaries. Kayak kicks down the door, takes away Spring. Boaster, outrageous!
Oh, भाई.
Turn all the eyes towards him.
भैंस की आँख.
They're still standing, they're still holding on. YU tries it, Juicy now. Last one alive, falls to his knees. Fnatic looking solid in these retakes.
अबे पोस्टर मतलब मेरे को क्या लगता है वो आईजीएल पे इतना ध्यान देता है बंदा तो इतना गेम नहीं खेल पाता बट वो अभी इतना वो बना रहा है अच्छे प्लेज स्प्लिट पहले मैप में भाई इतना गंदा विफ कर रही थी ना वुल्व्स की टीम लिटरली 1v1 हार रही है पूरे और वो पूरे खेलते झुंड बना के एक जन उनके साथ है ट्रेड और वो अकेले मरे ही जा रहे वो लोग
I mean, it is difficult the amount of times they maybe get in the first pick.
वही हो गया ना ट्रेड गेम बहुत स्ट्रांग है एक्चुअली इनका पता है
and those retakes, and that's just where it falls a bit short.
Yeah.
So now buy back in play. What's the plan? Isol's got ult, Spring's got his, one away from Sifat BB.
भाई ये तो वो वाला मैप था
Juicy a little ways away as well, but trying to work the map here, but
defense
is still a problem. Still going to have Alpha here.
Yeah, ever the threat. Operator in hand once more. Drone, does it catch him inside the smoke? Dealt with as well by Crashies, so
हाँ लोटस तो उसी ने निकाले भाई, जो लर्क्स किए ना उसने इतने प्यारे।
Blair waiting to the corner. I don't think they fancy that one actually. Well, they have managed to slip up cap, but I guess at the trade-off of A main as well, that they don't have that security there, Mike.
Yeah, Boaster.
Oh,
So
well.
now actually Kayak finds the backside of that. Juicy will fall.
Oh!
Isolates Alpha yet.
अल्फा भी नहीं खेल पा रहा था भाई।
Half a path towards B.
I mean, there's still hope in this round, but the rotations are coming through. And fast, Kronk gets captured. Taken away, YU falls in the meantime, though. What? They fall like a house of cards.
Boaster.
भाई उसको सेव भी नहीं किया उन लोग ने, देखा? मरने दे।
Shut down round 10 in quick succession as well.
Show me that replay. Was he
भाई वो प्लेस बना रहा है, पता है? बोस्टन लिटरली प्लेस बना रहा है।
main, but this was on the site, and now where's Boaster here? Yeah, up on top. Completely unawares.
Oh, fantastic
हाँ
work
कल मजा आएगा।
from the leader of
कल बाइक आ रही ब्रो।
Now a full Chico.
घर आऊँगा फिर
for
मैं।
Wolves.
पूरी बना के जो भी दिक्कत है।
You heard it, the tour de force in hand for Alpha Year as well. Just a
अबे
Hunter's Fury.
डिस्कॉर्ड में आ जाना ना, देख लेंगे साथ में। डिस्कॉर्ड में भी स्ट्रीम कर दूंगा।
Out of everyone to try and come towards YM.
Oh, Alpha bro.
Lightning dips back in after the first. This is his map. There's not much to be said about it.
Good shot, good shot.
But Alpha is
भाई Alpha is
now Spring in a 1v4. It feels like they got given
चीज सब हो गया।
to only have it taken away. Fnatic fully in control, Mike.
Last round before the switch.
एक अटेंडेंट को दे दिया वहाँ पे, अटेंडेंट का नंबर आ गया मेरे पास,
Again, short of Juicy
तो
finding
उसी के पास से सब हो जाएगा।
an ult orb here ahead of dying.
कल मैं और रमन जाएंगे।
That ult cycle just hasn't improved. To turn the flash, the readjustment.
भाई क्या मारा है भाई अल्फा ने भाई।
Phenomenal from Alpha.
बेचारा भाई।
Panic from Super. He's charging me down.
I'm dead.
I'm dead.
I'm dead. See you next round.
नहीं अगर फ्री हो तभी आना, ठीक है कल।
And sadly,
ऐसा
it
नहीं है।
feels like Wolves have hit that brick wall. And they won't be the first to feel it, but let's also look at the purchase right now. Have you noticed something? There's a firing squad. I've heard about these days, many days ago, about Fnatic.
Folklore.
3 operators out and about, and one of them is taking a walk.
अबे
A
वे-
miss, and actually a bad miss from Alpha.
अरे नहीं होगा यार इनको डिप्रेशन।
I know exactly where. Gives the neural theft across as well, so going to give a ton of.
भाई ये वो लोग खुद एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, उनको इतनी उम्मीद थोड़ी ना खुद
Be a
से।
little complacent here in round 12.
Oh, but Boaster, look, it may shock you if you don't see it often, but he is damn good with that operator, but switching it out for the rifle now. Look at the lurk, though. YU is eventually on the way. If they can stall out enough time, he could be the checkmate to this.
And now actually the Hunter's Fury from CUFAT BB, a perfect late round piece here. Fnatic have to pick up the pace.
ओ भाई लर्क देख।
On the flank, slowly creeping closer. He has to play this right, and he strikes on the first. Not gonna mince his words.
निकाल दिया भाई।
Leans out from main, and complacency, a key word here, Mike, that you said about this. Maybe a small mistake.
8-4 राउंड है, ठीक है, और डिफेंस साइड ओरिएंटेड है, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है आशु, ठीक है, कुछ भी हो सकता है।
To Wolves here to find a fourth, something to stop the momentum potentially from boiling over into the second half, Lauren.
Yeah, it's a window of chance. It is so slim though, right? You are on the ropes in this one. A miss from Alpha, a weird purchase. But if you're Wolves, you'll take that. A gift given. And a chance made for them now. But only 4, it's a long way back. And of course we have a treat for you guys playing along at home. We're going to hand it over to the one and
Possible.
only Vansili, who's been doing wonderful work with NRG Scuba and Marder.
तूने देखा तो फनेटिक ने किया क्या है जब सेंटिनल्स के अगेंस्ट जीती थी।
Mara, I know that
हाँ
in
वही
other
ना।
circumstances circumstances, you would have been on this stage playing with energy, but at least you're here in Masters Toronto. What's it like being here today?
I mean, it's amazing. I love the city. I love the crowd. You guys are fantastic. Like, the energy's crazy in here. I love it.
Homegrown Toronto, give it up to Mata.
Mata energy के लिए
In
खेलता
this
है.
addition now to energy, you have a chance to prove yourself during split 2 of the VCTs in Americas.
अरे,
Watching this from the sidelines,
पानी.
how eager are you to step on the stage?
I'm so excited, man.
हाँ,
I've been waiting so
भाई.
long for a chance to play
पूरा
like this, and it's honestly a
ट्विटर
dream.
में मजा आ गया था.
Awesome.
बसर
Now
थी.
let's talk about this game. We have now Fnatic versus Wolves. A crazy comp that Fnatic is coming out so far in this tournament. This double Sentinel. What's it like? And Mata, you told me you scrimmed against this composition too. And as a duelist, how do you deal with this double Senti comp?
Well, I mean, from Wolves' perspective, it's definitely hard because they only have Sova, and I think Alfier and Kayak are doing a great job of being like really annoying in mid and kind of making it really hard to clear out these like spots. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to peek Kayak, it's hard to peek Alfier, so you gotta be on point against this team. I think Wolves actually doing good though. Wolves did a good job.
Awesome. And then for you, Scuba, just what are your predictions going into this series? Since you know Wolves finally are starting to make a comeback in this series, they're still down a map. Do you think this is going to a map 5?
I think we all want to see a map 5, no?
Do we all want to see a map 5 in Toronto? Indeed we do. Let's toss it back here to the game.
It takes a certain capability
भाई G2 हारी गल.
to their limits.
भाई इतना तगड़ा था ना भाई.
This half is where we find out if Wolves are within that cut. At 8-4, there's a chance, Mike. The Coinbase Econ report kind of tells you what's been happening. Kron,
सब खुश थे भाई कल G2 जब हारी.
the entirety of the squad doing well. But the question mark becomes, is
PRX
there
जीत जाए
still
मजा आ
gas in the
जाएगी.
tank for Wolves, Mike?
I mean, how much can you just keep
Coinbase भाई, Coinbase पे सट्टा लगाओ अब.
like I said, don't
आ गया है Coinbase अपना गेमर्स के लिए सट्टेबाजी के लिए.
up against the ropes now, everything to play for, and almost nothing to lose in terms of stepping onto this stage in Toronto. They've given their heart, their all, but one half away now from potentially closing the door on that dream or a chance to redeem
PRX for
themselves.
the win, bro. PRX
Push
for
the
the win.
sunset.
I know a lot of us would want it.
I do.
Yeah, same, look.
Oh, bye.
Kind of root for a side, but we want the best between these two. 1-1 trade out, but Lysol wants more. Hungry to chase it down, but Alpha has been devastating. Still does.
भाई अल्फा क्या खेल रहा है भाई.
Lysol.
Oh!
Shot. Anything you can do, I can do better. But there's still bodies behind this. Crashes is curious. And that shot dart lethal. Down to a 2v2 now.
Good night, good night. मैं भी सो रहा हूँ यार, मेरे को नींद आ रही है, मेरे को सुबह जाना है कल.
Boaster yet to rear his head.
Bye bye.
Chance to upgrade here. 2 smokes available for them. Wolves almost a split focus here.
I have the spike.
Utility set up towards B.
यार मैं भी जा रहा हूँ. मेरा ना सर दुख रहा है.
Slowly drifting that way.
Yes, it's when we check cam real quick.
Guys, I'm sorry, but मेरा ना सर दुख रहा है, पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है. गर्मी लग रही है, क्या हो रहा है, I don't know. ठीक है. Sorry guys, पूरा मैच नहीं देख पा रहा हूँ मैं. कल फाइनल्स देखूंगा मैं पक्का पूरा. ठीक है. बाय बाय गाइस. गुड नाइट, टेक केयर. कल काम भी है, मेरा सर भी पता नहीं अभी क्यों दुख रहा है. बाय बाय गाइस, गुड नाइट, टेक केयर. सी यू टुमारो. पक्का कल पूरा देखूंगा मैं. अभी मेरा सिर दुख रहा है, मैं भी नहीं देख सकता.